back at it again to give y'all another very exciting video, and for today marks my episode 22 of my ZardCast podcast. Assuming if I'm not experiencing any kind of hiccups or any kind of draws or anything with the stream lagging or anything like that, or when listening back on this on the playback, everything is running smooth and stuff like that though. But it is the holiday season, as people like to say. Christmas is literally like, I think, 6 days away or something like that. So it is kind of crazy. And I'm like, oh shoot. I was like, time just kind of ran up on this stuff. But, for the whole month kind of leading up to Christmas Day, I've been doing things a little bit differently. I've been doing like a hashtag 25 days to uploadish, where I was like uploading a lot more things than what I normally like to, or than what I normally actually do. So that's what I've been doing for pretty much the whole month of December so far though. Now, it is going to be a little different because I did have a couple of things planned for this last week leading up to Christmas, but it seems like I about ran out of time, and I honestly didn't want to make or do a lot of, content extra stuff on the week of Christmas. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do something a little bit different. So if you happen to look at my channel within this next upcoming week, I will actually be doing a Christmas special re-upload of different videos I made in the years of 2019, which was when I actually started doing YouTube, as well as 2020. So I'll be pulling random videos from those and just re-uploading those up on the channel though, because some of y'all might not seen certain videos that I'm going to be re-uploading. Might give you a little bit of interest to go back and look at some of these other videos that I had up in the series though. But yeah, so that's what I'm going to be planning on doing for that week. So basically you'll get videos, basically I think there's going to be like 2 videos almost a day. There might be one day where you only get one, but for the most part, 2, and maybe a couple of days of that week only one, where you're going to get a few uploads a day. So yeah, you have that to look forward to at least though, and that should carry you all the way over to Christmas though. So yeah, so you do have that to look forward to though. But with Christmas coming up, let me know if if you're excited on getting some things on your wish list. Maybe you're trying to be in the hunt for a new game or maybe a new console. If you're trying to get an Xbox Series X or a PlayStation 5, I do wish you the best of, or even a Switch OLED. I do wish you the best of luck on all of that, because I know it is not going to be an easy task getting any kind of new consoles or anything like that. Games are easy, consoles makes it just a little bit tougher though. But yeah, so a lot of good things to look forward to in these upcoming days though. But yeah, so let's go ahead and jump straight up into that pop culture segment. All right, so starting off at the very beginning of the things I got to talk about for pop culture segment, we did get confirmation of a new trailer for Dragon Ball Super Hero. I honestly, I just can't get over the naming of that movie. Like, I feel like there's got to be a different name they could have been. Dragon Ball Super Hero, like the double super is just throwing me off. Anyway, we get a brand new trailer and it showcases off a little bit more of this movie, and it actually seems like this movie could be focused around Gohan instead of what I originally thought it was going to be around Goku or something like that. Because it kind of makes sense now looking at the title of the movie, like superhero. We know that Gohan, likes to, pose around as a superhero, like what we saw within the Majin Buu saga arc, him tagging up with his wife now, Videl, and them doing like a whole bunch of stuff within that saga. It makes sense. It makes sense when you sit down and think about it though. And it's actually kind of cool in this trailer. We get to see Gohan not in his traditional sort of kind of, green kind of color gear, but he's actually in Piccolo's colors, like the purple and stuff like that. And there was one scene before this image that you're able to see on the screen if you're watching the YouTube side of things though, where he's actually wearing like Piccolo's white cape as well, and he threw that off like when the battle was about to get tense in some part of the movie though. But yeah, so honestly, you know what? I'm actually looking forward to this now. I'm still sort of kind of iffy with pretty much the whole movie is going to be CGI. It's going to make the fighting scenes, as I said in some previous episodes, it's going to make some of the fighting scenes a little more unique. Maybe, add a little bit of something extra, because if you do CGI right during certain fight scenes, it can look absolutely crazy. Like the most recent anime movie I saw was the My Hero Academia one. Like they did some crazy panning around shots and stuff like that during some of their fights. Like CGI done right in fight scenes can be top tier, but I'm just worried about, the whole length of the movie all being CGI, even during some of them still moments, or just barely kind of moving or whatever, those panning around shots and stuff. So that's my major concern about it though. But overall, I do hope that the plot is actually going to be pretty good up in this movie, because I mean, I just want to see this movie do well. And man, please, oh please, after this movie comes out, can we get some kind of confirmation that the anime coming soon? I mean, I feel like it's been long enough. I feel like it's been long enough, and we're long overdue for it though. But yeah, so that's basically all I have to say on the Dragon Ball Super Hero new trailer though. Now moving over to the next topic, we did get confirmation, and this was confirmed at the Game Awards, where we got to see a first little glimpse of this though. But apparently they're going to be making a new Halo series, and it's going to be coming out exclusive to Paramount Plus. And I was like, okay, it seems like everything nowadays, and I feel like I keep saying this over and over in my ZardCast episodes, but it seems like everything nowadays, like I think one of the most recent things I remember them announcing was Uncharted. Like we know we're getting a series with that. Like Tom Holland from the Spider-Man movies, he's gonna be playing a role in that. I mean, we have that. The new Sonic movie. We got like new trailers from the Sonic 2 movie as well. That, the Mario movie. We had Detective Pikachu. Apparently there was a Monster Hunter movie that I didn't even know about. There's Resident Evil stuff going on. Like almost everything video game related is getting like adaptations from either TV series or movies. And then Halo just happens to be the next one in line. So I am kind of curious about it. I don't own Paramount Plus. If I did, I probably would have just dabbled with it, because I mean, out of all the Xbox exclusives that they have on their console, that might be the one that kind of interests me the most, even though I'm not really like a first person kind of shooter or whatever though. But I am kind of curious to see how this series turns out, because just how big it is in with the Xbox. Like this is the Mario for Xbox, in terms of like their main mascot. Like when you think of Microsoft, the first thing that most people think about is Halo. So I am kind of curious to see how well this series will do in terms of it premiering out on Paramount Plus. But if you are looking forward to it, this just go ahead and let me know down in the comment section down below, or in the chat, if you're excited about looking forward to this brand new series though. But you just gotta let me know though. But that's basically all I have to say on that. The trailer didn't go super in depth. I mean, and in terms of the storyline, where they kind of pick it, I feel like they're gonna go with the origin, like way back to Halo 1, in terms of where they're gonna start off the story. Because who knows how many seasons this could be if it happens to be hugely successful though. But that's pretty much it in terms of that topic. So let's go ahead and bounce on over to another one, because like all video game adaptations, we have one more, because apparently Mega Man is actually going to get a live action is going to get a live action movie that's going to be in the works for Netflix. So here we go, get back to back stories. I kid you not. Video games getting adaptations once again in movie form. And or first one was TV series, this one movie form though. And you know what? Animated stuff, I could see this one being really good. But when they started mentioning live action, I started getting a little bit hesitant on it, because I don't know. It's just something about live action stuff. It's not even just, like with video game related stuff. It can be even with like anime related stuff. Like animated stuff makes sense. But when they start doing live adaptations of it, there's just some things that this doesn't translate well when you're having a live person do it in comparison to just having it animated. Because animated stuff, you can do crazier stuff in comparison to like just live action, where I can honestly always think back to this, like when they made Avatar: The Last Airbender. Obviously that's an animated show. You do all the water, earth, fire, airbending, and all that stuff. Looks really cool on the screen. When they did the live action version of it in the movie, there's only so much you can do in terms of like flipping around or acting like you're raising earth or shooting fireballs out of your hand. There's only so much you can do with it though. So I am kind of skeptical about how in the world this Mega Man movie will actually turn out. I mean, I don't even know what the dude would look like. Like this look at Mega Man and the way how he wears that helmet and stuff. Like imagine some other dude that's wearing a rainbow helmet and a blue suit. Like I don't know. I just feel like with a blaster on his hand, I just feel like he's gonna be off. I don't know. It's just something about it. I don't know how I quite feel, but I don't know it's gonna like light the world on fire or anything like that though. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have to say on that though. But if you happen to be a Mega Man fan and you're looking forward to this, kudos to you, because I don't know how well this is gonna do though, but hopefully for your Mega Man fans, hopefully it's entertaining at least, whether it be for good or bad. Hopefully it's entertaining for y'all, nonetheless. But let's go ahead and move over to my very last pop culture segment of this segment, and that is none other than Spider-Man No Way Home success. No, I have not seen the movie just yet. However, this movie has lit the world on fire because it's literally like the second all-time best in terms of grossing movie period history, right behind Endgame. Like Endgame was number one, and Spider-Man No Way Home is like number two. And I was like, that's just going to say something. Like normally I'm not a diehard Marvel fan. I will usually see the movie on Friday, but with it being the holiday season and stuff, I had to sacrifice a few days so that way I can watch it with my whole entire family. I actually gonna see it tomorrow afternoon. I'm gonna catch it as a matinee. So that's the plan for me though. But if you happen to watch this movie already, from what I heard in the general consensus, a lot of people have enjoyed it. But I just have a sneaking suspicion. I'm not going into spoilers because I don't know anything beyond the trailers that I've seen though. But I have a sneaking suspicion that something sad or something bad happens in this movie. Obviously not the Spider-Man or not the Doctor Strange, because we know Doctor Strange is getting another movie next year though. But I feel like some side character, something bad happens to somebody in this movie as a consequence to, Spidey wanting to go and you know, change, history and stuff like that in terms of who it basically knows his identity and whatnot though. Because I mean he can't handle that social pressure like most of the other Avengers normally do though. I just have a sneaking suspicion that that's going to be the case. So I'll check back in next time I have my next ZardCast episode and just kind of give a vibe check on it. I don't know. At some point, I probably will do like a review over the movie like how I do with most Marvel movies, except for Eternals. I've been a little slow on making that Eternals review. Like I was like halfway into the script or whatever, though, and I just never got to finish it. I was gonna try to drop it out within like these 25 days leading up to Christmas though, but it just never happened. I don't know, partially not super motivated because it's not like the best all-time movie or anything like that, but nonetheless I still want to kind of get my thoughts on it though, because I got to at some point though. But yeah, but look forward to that review whenever I do watch the movie and I sit down and do it. I don't know if it's just going to be me as a solo or I actually might round up a group of my friends, because I know a lot of them are actually going to go and watch this movie and might do it like as a group discussion. I don't know which way I'll take it though, but nonetheless I will sit down and give my full thoughts on the movie whenever it finally does release though. Or not when it releases, not when I finally actually get to sit down and watch it, man. Because this has been like torture. I have to put like a whole bunch of mute words up on Twitter and stuff like that. Make sure that I don't accidentally spoil myself. Like I got like all these hashtags: Spider-Man, Spidey, anything related to the movie. I probably already got it muted in terms of the words on Twitter though. But yeah, that's basically all I had to say on that Spider-Man No Way Home. But if you happen to watch the movie so far, no spoilers. Let me know in the comment section down below what all that you think about the movie. You could Richter scale it on a scale of 10. Where you place this movie at though. But yeah, that's basically gonna do it for all of my pop culture segments that I got planned for tonight. So let's go ahead and move over to the next major segment, that being what's in the gaming news. All right, so starting off with the first topic I got listed out is we did have the Game Awards that happened within the past week or two or so, and we managed to go through and actually figure out who won all the different categories. Unfortunately, Metroid Dread did not win Game of the Year. And I am kind of a little bit salty about that because I felt like that was a shoo-in to have a decent chance, because it did win Best Action Adventure of the Year, which normally, if you get one of those kind of rewards, it does kind of give you a little bit of confidence kind of going into that final Game of the Year, award with all the different nominees and stuff. I did like it whenever they always go through and play like an orchestrated piece of like all the different music for all the different nominees for Game of the Year. That part always is pretty sick. Even though there's some games that, or actually a lot of them besides Metroid Dread, that I hadn't played, it just always sounds so good to hear. So I always do love that little bit of enjoyment though. But The one game that actually did manage to win was It Takes Two, which I'm kind of shocked by. Like I knew it was gonna do well, but I didn't think it was gonna do that well where it actually won Game of the Year. So that was kind of shocking, especially since in order to play the game, you have to play it with two different people, and you can't just do it alone. Like it literally takes two. So I was like, I was genuinely shocked about it. One other thing I was shocked about was the fact that there was like a family award category that usually Nintendo wins every single year, right? They literally had WarioWare, they had Mario Party Superstars. I think they had even Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury and some other Nintendo game I'm not thinking off of the top of my head. I had all of that stuff there in that one category. And the one thing that was not Nintendo related was It Takes Two. So I looked at that thinking, oh, for sure, I thought Mario Party Superstars was going to win because I heard a lot of good things about the game, and even with my experience playing through the game, it's actually very fluid in terms of the online, and it's just a blast from the past with me going back and playing certain Mario Party games, especially the Mario Party 3 related stuff because that's what I had on the N64 back in the day though. But to my shocking surprise, It Takes Two won that category. I don't know how it won family game, but I was like, what the heck? Like normally Nintendo is a shoo-in for this though. So I was like, okay, that was a big curveball right there. But outside of that, in terms of the overall experience from the Game Awards, it was fun sitting down and watching it with my friends. I do have my whole entire reaction to the Game Awards on my channel if you want to go through and watch all of it. I even clipped out the Sonic Frontiers reaction trailer that we did. That was probably the most entertaining kind of reaction that I think we got from my little group that watched it though. But overall, it was okay. I felt like there was way too many ads. I feel like the show could be shortened down a little bit because the show was like 3 hours long, 3.5 if you want to include the pre-show. So basically running from like what was it, 6:30 to 7 for the pre-show, and 7 to 10. This is Central Standard Time. 7 to 10 for the main show. So I feel like condense that mess down. I do want them to kind of give more respect or more homage to the people that are getting the awards because I feel like they talk real quick and say, "Oh, it's so nice to have this or whatever," though, and then they hurry off the stage and boom, there's another world premiere or something like that, or like another onslaught of different ads for the show. So that's the one thing I kind of wish that they kind of improve was put more spotlights on the game developers and make sure that cut down on the ads and definitely cut down on the time. I feel like there's somehow, some way, you probably could have trimmed off 1 hour of the show, and it probably would have felt a lot better because it would have been a lot more condensed, a lot more of a concise show. I think that's like my most major criticism towards the show. But in terms of stuff that was shown in terms of announcements, I think the biggest things was the Sonic movie trailer, Sonic Frontiers, Persona 4 Arena, which was actually announced in the pre-show that's coming out to modern consoles, that being, Steam, PS4, as well as Switch, that's coming out in like March of next year. And what was the other thing? I felt like there was one other thing. I guess they technically showed Hellblade off for people that really like the Xbox. I thought there might have been one more. They did showcase off a little bit more Elden Ring, but outside of that, that was about it in terms of the major stuff. Everything else is sort of kind of smaller announcements, sort of kind of new stuff, but it wasn't anything super major or anything like that though. So yeah, so overall, War Show was okay. It was somewhat entertaining. I still feel like it got a ways to go in terms of just improving the quality of the show, but nonetheless, it's always somewhat a fun time to actually sit around with a group of fans and friends and just kind of sit around and talk about video games and related stuff with our own unique award show, which is the only award show I normally like to watch because I don't watch the Grammys, I don't watch the Oscars or anything like that. Like this the one show I actually sit down and watch though. But you gotta let me know in the comment section down below what all that you think about this award show, and did you feel like anything got robbed? Once again, I will always say this. My boy, Neo The World Ends With You, got robbed in terms of it being a great RPG that didn't even get in the nominations. I don't understand how the heck that happened, though. But that's my one little nitpick, though. But that's all I got to say on the Game Awards. So we'll go ahead and move over to the next topic. And that is none other than we actually got a little story where Nintendo is actually investing in more office space in Japan. And it is kind of interesting because I think it's basically all thanks to it's all thanks to the success that the Switch has been doing in comparison to what the Wii U did, where Nintendo's actually able to invest like literally billions of dollars to where they're going to be able to expand their headquarters out a little bit more in Japan, because I think they're going to have two different sites added right next to the building, where they're going to be able to add more to it though, which is going to help with with game development a little bit more in terms of them improving their resources. Because as we can see, they're actually doing the construction right now, and I think I wanted to say in terms of the report, it's going to take about a couple of years or so in order for them to be able to kind of build everything for it though. And yeah, it is 2.64 billion dollars that they're putting up into this though. And and basically, with this infrastructure increase, hopefully that helps with game development, because they are trying to plan to do more stuff in house than rather than resource it out to other companies. So obviously, more space, more development things that you have access to and stuff like that. You'd be able to do things more so in house than rather branch them all out, which will kind of help for Nintendo. And I do know, I think I remember hearing a report of where I think at one point they were actually moving Game Freak's employees kind of closer to Nintendo, so that way they can kind of feed off of them in terms of if they need help on like that, like little things like that, where you have other companies that, or not other companies, but other franchises that are being made in the works. If you're able to collaborate with another team that knows how to do XYZ a little better to help your ABC, then hey, that can go a whole lot. That can go a whole ways, and hopefully, fingers crossed on this. There's no guarantee on this though, but hopefully they might be able to find a way to be able to use this to be able to kind of help upgrade their things like the Nintendo Switch Online, My Nintendo, and some other services that they currently provide, where we all know as fans where they could probably go the extra mile, shoot, probably the extra 3, 4, 5 miles to be honest though, in terms of improving their quality with the online service. That way it could be somewhat kind of compatible to what PlayStation has with PlayStation Plus and PS Now, and then obviously with Xbox Live Gold and their Game Pass. I don't think Nintendo's gonna throw anything out there like their Game Pass though, but I would like to see Nintendo do something similar on the lines of almost having a Game Pass equivalent, but with their retro games and what they're trying to do with the Nintendo Switch Online with the NES, SNES, and N64 games currently, as well as they teamed up with Sega to get the Genesis games up on there though. But yeah, that's basically all my big major hopes that Nintendo will be able to do at least in the foreseeable future though. So hopefully, these improvements actually lead to some really good change. It'll be really nice to kind of see all of that play out though. But let's go ahead and move over to the next story, and that is none other than we actually managed to get a potential leak of Persona 4 Golden. Now, originally, like what I mentioned earlier, we got confirmation that Persona 4 Arena is coming to modern consoles in the year of 2022 in March. However, I did notice one person off of Twitter at Scrambled Faz, where he noticed a little change up within the site, because originally there was like a site where it had all of the Persona 4 Arena information. And yes, and gotta throw this out here, it is confirmed from one of the developers that this is only gonna be a digital release. Unfortunately, it's not gonna have physical in it though, but I did want to kind of share that out as well though. But anyway, in the oh shoot, from what he noticed is that there was like a version 2 that was posted up on the Persona 4 Arena website that addresses that there's a Midnight Channel collection for the PS4 and the Switch. And apparently that Midnight collection will basically be a bundle that includes Persona 4 Golden with Persona 4 Arena. And I'm like, oh shoot, if that be the case, finally, we can get Persona 4 Golden, off like currently you can play the game on Steam, but that's basically it. But we'll be able to get it off of computers and actually get it onto our actual consoles where we're actually able to play it. And that would be really nice, because currently the only Persona games I play is Persona 5 Royal that I have on my PS5 right now, which is obviously PS4 game, along with Persona 5 Strikers, which I own on my Switch though. So it would be really nice if I can have Persona 4 Golden. At least I'll have some context and some background, because I do want to get Persona 4 Arena nonetheless. Even if we do or don't get Persona 4 Golden, I still want to play Arena. Probably will get it on my Switch so that way I can play with some of my other friends, because from what I heard, a lot of people really like that game because apparently it's pretty good. It's a fighting game though, so I am looking forward to that one. But hopefully, if they give out Golden as well, good. Oh shoot, I know I will get that game. I'll pick that up, and I'll pick up Arena. And oh shoot, I don't know how many hours it takes to complete Persona 4 Golden though, but I'll do that investment like I did with Persona 5 Royal, and I managed to make my way through that game. I'll try to get through that game though. But yeah, so Persona 4 Golden. Currently, it's elite. Technically, it's rumor until we got some really hardcore concrete stuff. But the fact that they kind of tripped up on their website and someone was able to notice this with the Midnight Collection and stuff makes me think it might be closer on the lines of a leak. So if they were planning on bundling this with the Persona 4 Arena, we would get confirmation of this here fairly soon. I would think probably in the month of January, because this is Arena is supposed to come out in March, and you're trying to bundle them together. We'll have to hear something about it between now and then, because this is all in efforts Persona's 25th anniversary, where they're supposed to have several announcements. So I imagine the next announcement that for the Persona 25th anniversary, what it is, that's probably the Persona 4 Golden announcement, with it being tied into Persona 4 Arena for modern consoles. So I think that's where they're probably leaning at in terms of their next plans for the Persona 25th anniversary though. But y'all gotta let me know down in the comment section down below. Are you excited by this news? Have you been curious like me that wanted to play Persona 4 Golden but never had like a really good opportunity or a chance outside of PC? Especially if PC gaming ain't really much your thing. You'd rather have it on consoles. So you gotta let me know down in the comment section down below, or just at me on Twitter. Just let me know your thoughts on this. I'm just very kind of curious to kind of hear your thoughts though. But yeah, so far so good. Having a pretty good swell little time over here on my ZardCast episode though. But we do have to hear a word from our sponsor. This episode of ZardCast is brought to you by The Bell. And no, I do not mean Taco Bueno. If you're thinking this is the Taco Bueno sort of kind of sponsor right here, no, heck no. Get that out of your mind. There's only one true Bell. Now, with that aside, this episode is brought to you by The Bell. And, every now and then, you're just craving some non-authentic Mexican food, but you get that quick, easy, and convenient stuff that you get from the drive-thru, right? So you pull through the drive-thru, and then you order yourself a burrito, maybe a taco, or something like that, like them fiery or them nacho cheese Dorito shells or something like that. And then you just whip on through there and whatnot though, and then you get up to the drive-thru and you're like, hey. And then they're like, man, why in the world did you order a burrito, a taco, 2 boxes, a large Baja Blast, a large pink lemonade, and then you turn around and got some of them Cinnabon Delights and whatever though, and then you got like a whole bunch of chips and cheese and stuff like that, and then you got like a number 2 and a number 3, and then they're like, bruh, like why in the world? And then he turns around and looks at you through the car, and then notice you got like 10 kids in the back, like your wife up there, and then you got like a couple, like your cousin and your uncle and aunt up in the car, and they're gonna get a little frustrated with you, so then they might do something to your food, so you're feeling really good eating that food up in the car, and then you get home, and then you get the runs and stuff, because you know how it is with Mexican food, like normally you actually get the runs, but they wind up doing something to your food, and then that stuff can kind of tear up your stomach a little bit. All right. Well, this is a sponsored segment, so I probably should be saying some good things about the Bell rather than the bad stuff. But anyway, I digress. So anyway, I went to the Bell not too long ago. I think it was like just a couple of days ago. I went through there and got one of the most recent boxes. It's like a grilled cheese burrito or whatever though. You can't go wrong with that sucker. That sucker always kind of hits with me in just the right ways. I eat the burrito. I wind up eating that chalupa. Man, if you get them chalupas and you roll through there, and then you get one of them cold chalupas where the chalupa ain't even warm, like the shell or whatnot though, man, that's almost be tasting like hot trash. Okay, I guess I need to back it up again though. But the Dorito taco is pretty good though. But I'm never always able to kind kind of get to that because there's so much food up in that box though. But the nacho cheese chips will be hitting pretty good though, unless you get that cold kind of cheese that they just kind of scrape from the bottom of the pan and look like a little crusty or whatever. I digress. I can't go that way again though. Anyway, I better wrap this up though. But make sure to go ahead and swing by the bell if you're craving that good Mexican but non-authentic Mexican food where you just want it quick and cheap, and hopefully you have the right kind of people over there making the food. Oh gosh, I might get in trouble for this sponsor right here though. The bell, you got good food. Just work with your employees a little bit. Just work with your employees. Oh shoot, I better hurry up and get this thing going on. All right, so back to the show. All right, so starting off with the next topic, and I do apologize about that little bit of a hiccup right there, though. We do have some confirmation that we are having a brand new service that's being brought over to Sony, and it's sort of kind of in the rumor mill moment at the current moment, though. But we do have some kind of thing codenamed Spartacus, where Sony is going to be planning off a service where it's going to be somewhat being able to compete against Microsoft's Game Pass. Not quite to that level degree, but something close enough where it can somewhat compete against it, though. So in this thing, we get a report from somebody where it says, hey, they're going to be able to combine PlayStation Plus, which, that's where they have all of their online services and stuff. You get like free monthly games and stuff like that. They're going to try to combine that with PlayStation Now. PlayStation Now is a service where you're able to play older related games like some PS3, some PS2s, or stuff like that. Games, some of it, a lot of it where you're able to download now, but originally it wasn't like that. Originally, you were able to actually stream them. There's a small selection where you're able to stream, some of them you're able to download. So imagine incorporating some of the stuff with PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now, and that's what they're sort of kind of trying to do, probably with some other unique little twists that they're going to try to do up in there, though. But I think that's their direction of where they want to do this in terms of the Spartacus codename report. And apparently to them, it's going to be like 3 different tiers. I imagine the first tier is going to be like about $5 or $6 a month. The next tier is going to be about 8ish or something like that. And then the next tier is going to be like $12. And I think at the high end tier, at that high dollar one, that's where you're going to have all the PlayStation Plus, all the PlayStation Now, and maybe some other little extra stuff sprinkled up in there, though. But it seems like that is going to be a thing that's going to be trying to launch and try to compete with Xbox within the year of 2022. So we're definitely going to have to kind of keep an eye out on that to see exactly how well this service could potentially do, or if we get any other extra confirmation or some tidbits on it, because it is being passed around from different news outlets in terms of what this service could basically entail as we kind of progress in the future, though. But I am kind of curious to see how well it all plays out, though. But yeah, so yeah, if you're a big Sony fan, PlayStation fan, where you're like doing all of this stuff with in terms of playing your games online, maybe you're like one of those people that really love yourself some Call of Duty or something like that, or like some NBA or whatever, though. You can actually pay for online. Are you willing to pay a little extra and kind of get a little bit more out of this service that might be somewhat on a similar but not quite playing field with Xbox's Game Pass? We'll have to wait and see exactly how this goes, but I am curious nonetheless, though. Now moving over into another. Oh, hold on here. I think we got somebody that managed to pop up in here. Give me 1 second here, real quick. All right, Steven. Hey, what's up, man? How's it going? Okay, hold on. Give me 1 second here. That thing should have picked you. It should have picked you up, but I don't know why is it not. picking up your audio. That's weird. Hold on. You should have done it. It is kind of weird how it's not doing it. Give me 1 second here.
Uh,
Okay, all right. So now I think they can hear you. Go ahead and say something.
alright, yeah, it's me, Bazinga.
Okay, all right, yeah. Now they got you. All right, yeah. So how's it going, man?
It's going good. Just trying to relax today. Got work tomorrow. Play some. Hopefully, well, I finished Spider-Man Miles Morales today, but I'm doing New Game Plus. This game looks like amazing.
Huh. All righty,
I
yeah.
went straight from FNAF Security Breach to this game, and one of them looks great. One of them does not.
Hmm. Okay, yeah, yeah. Because I think
I,
well, I'll talk about that probably a little later in the episode where I'll talk about which games I've been playing recently, though.
yeah,
But yeah, yeah, we've been playing some good games. We've been playing some good games. You jumped right into the segment where I started talking. I just finished talking about that news report of the Spartacus thing, where where it was like some stuff that was going around between some news outlets where they were combined, or where Sony was basically would try to find a somewhat Game Pass equivalent to
yeah.
Microsoft's Game Pass or whatever, though, where they're gonna basically fuse together PlayStation Plus, PlayStation Now, and then probably throw some extra kudos stuff that we don't know about, and basically
I
having
think
that sort of kind of equivalent and having like 3 tiers for it or something like that.
I don't know. I think that would be a neat idea, but right now PlayStation Plus already isn't really that good of like a deal. I don't know. Like PlayStation Plus is like okay, you get online, you get 2 free games a month. So it's already better than like Nintendo's online service, but like I'd still say Game Pass, even if it's more expensive, gives you so much more. Like, Game Pass Ultimate at least. If you get Game Pass Ultimate at a good price, it is $100 for a year. And with how much you get, it's amazing. It's an amazing deal.
Yeah.
While Play while PlayStation Plus, it's really like you might have a good time, you might not. It really depends. Like it has exclusive content for certain games, which, Xbox doesn't really have that per se.
Hmm.
Like you get some exclusive content for games only with PS Plus, but not a lot. Not a lot at all.
Yeah,
In
not a
fact,
lot.
now in PlayStation Now, I've really heard nothing good about. People always say like it's like input delays always kind of a bit weird on that. I don't know if you've ever heard anyone talk about that.
I hadn't heard anybody talk about it though, but I do remember originally, and I mentioned this like maybe a few minutes ago, where apparently with PlayStation Now, it used to be a whole bunch of games you could only stream, and nowadays I think there's like what maybe 80 to 90% of games where you're actually able to download them now. Like you don't have to stream them. There's a small selection of games where you do have to stream them, but a lot of those games are actually able to download them. So if you're able to download them, there shouldn't be no latency at all. So maybe it's for those few games that are only streamable at that point, or maybe you might have heard stuff from them saying that when the game was only streamable at that point, but maybe it's not. Maybe you're able to download it now though. But that's just a few things I heard about it. But not a lot of people know about PlayStation Now in comparison to like PlayStation
Yeah,
Plus.
like I'm looking at this PlayStation Now. Like it's got like placed like big games wise, it's got like God of War and Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition. It's got those. But like I'm looking at the must see on PlayStation Now, and they put Last of Us Part 2 at like the front. And I'm just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like it's just PS Now just something about it I just don't like per se. It just they don't really advertise it with weird games while Game Pass constantly gets good games and it's so easy. You have Game Pass and you just download the games. You have them basically.
Yeah,
And
because I
also,
think that's the reason why I think they're trying to do the Spartacus thing, because they know that there's some value with what they do have with PlayStation, but it's kind of scattered. It's not as organized. It's not as flashy as like
no,
what Game Pass is. So I think that's why they're
yeah,
trying to rework the system.
yeah, like I don't think PlayStation's online service is as good as Xbox, but I do think that it would only be a good thing. because even if it's like not good on its own, not only is it like not only is PlayStation gonna have to try hard to compete with Game Pass, which I think they want to do. I think they do really want to compete with Game Pass because Game Pass has kind of become one of those big things that if you have an Xbox, you have Game Pass for the most part. Most people have Game Pass now.
Pretty
It's just such,
much.
especially like with how much the Series S is finally being restocked. So like people are getting digital games a lot more, and if they're getting digital games a lot more, then what's better? What's better than Game Pass?
Oh no, you're getting a Series S at that point. You're pretty much only getting you're only getting
If you
it to basically because if all your games are digital at that point, you might as well have Game Pass. It really doesn't make any other kind of sense to be honest.
Yeah. But then like I'm looking at like and I wasn't one of the big rumors about Spartacus is that they're gonna have like old games on there, PS1, PS2, shit like that. I
Yeah,
think I
which
heard,
I think that's where they get the
which
whole PlayStation because
that's gonna
PlayStation now
be
has some PS1s and PS2 games in there, but I imagine they're gonna dump more in there than what we probably have at the moment
yeah,
with PlayStation now, and that's gonna be the top of the tier. Like I think they're
yeah.
trying to split it up into three tiers. That
Like
would be like the top three tier thing. That's probably gonna be $12 a month or something like that.
yeah, like let's be honest, that's really the stuff that people care about. That's like really the
Basically,
only stuff that people actually like when you hear people say, "Oh, I want to, I want to like get like this PlayStation thing." Or like I don't know, it's like they're gonna mainly advertise it with play PS1, PS2, play all these old games. Or Xbox, they add backwards compatibility, and I'm pretty sure for most of those games they do add them to the Xbox store. I think.
I think
Like
so. I'm not 100% sure.
either way, you can access so many of them. Like I can go on the Xbox store right now and like buy Sonic Unleashed. It's there. I could just get it.
Yeah,
Well, PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, you have a very limited selection of PS3 games.
yeah, that is true. But yeah, so I think that's about it in terms of the Spartacus stuff, and
Oh,
we'll move over to the next PlayStation thing here real quick
I'm
because
looking. I'm look.
they had.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm looking at the downloadable games for PS Now, and like it's got a lot. From what I'm seeing, it's got more games than Game Pass, but it's got a lot more games that are like not good and games that people don't care about that much.
Yeah, I do know the selection of games is fairly small. I remember actually it was a few days ago. I think I went through and looked through their collection, and I just saw some stuff because I was just curious, and I was like, okay, yeah, there's not enough in here for me to try to make that investment for. It's
Also,
$60 a year. Yeah,
the UI is much worse.
yeah.
Oh yeah, not even to mention half of these games that you get for PS Now limited, you can get with PS Plus. Like, at least on PS5, you have the PlayStation Plus collection that has like 20 games for free.
Hmm.
So it's like, if you're getting like because obviously people still have a PS4, but like Spartacus is going to be mostly marketed for PS5 owners
Oh no,
because they're
it's only gonna be that. It's only gonna be that. At
yeah,
that point,
it's
they
going to
got to
be
move on.
like I'm looking at this PlayStation exclusives on PS Now. God of War, Little Big Planet 3, Last of Us 2. Like a couple like there's not that many actually. There's Shadow of the Colossus PS3, which I think a lot of people like. That's like the only other one I could think of that like people actually care about.
Hmm.
It's like it's very scattered. Like you have Uncharted, but only like two of them. Well, Game Pass, with Game Pass, they treat their Xbox exclusives. I'm pretty sure you have basically every single like Doom game on there. Got a good amount of Fallout, obviously. Halo, all of them are on there. Like they really care about their series. Like make it. At least Xbox cares about making sure as many people can play them as possible. While PlayStation's like, oh, we want to have more exclusives. And yeah, they do have more exclusives, but like they really don't like to sell you those.
Yeah, because I think they pretty much like, because I know Xbox's idea behind it is they're willing to take a loss in terms of, because I feel like they're waste or not wasting. I feel like they're losing a bit of money. I don't know how much money they're losing, but
Oh
I
yeah,
feel like they're losing a little bit because I feel like the value of X or Game Pass is probably going to go up in years because of how much extra stuff they keep dumping up in it, though. But they're more willing to risk it for those dollar amounts like that because Microsoft has a ton of money, to be honest. Though, like the gaming division is like very small in comparison to everything else they got. In comparison to Sony, which I think is a tiny little bit more reserved. But we're gonna go ahead and bounce over to the next PlayStation topic because apparently we got some news within like the past few days or something like that where they're actually releasing more colors for the faceplates for the PS5, and they're actually introducing three, or technically five, faceplate colors that are new, as well as three brand new controllers that are brand new colors. So we have over here, and I can't remember the official names of everything though. I do remember it was like Starlight Blue and some kind of version of a pink, a purple, and then obviously the traditional black and red that we already have as controllers, but those two are coming as faceplates though. So
I want the
honestly,
red.
so now you're going to be able to kind of customize your stuff a little bit more. And you want the red one?
I want the red one, man. I think Bronto said he likes the purple. Like a lot of people like the purple and the navy blue. I really like the red, and I think they're making controllers of the colors that they just announced, right? They
Yeah,
announced controllers for the
yeah, they're
blue and the
announcing
red and the
controllers.
purple.
Yeah, it's not navy blue. It's like a light blue, and I guess the official term
Yeah,
for it is like starlight blue. I mean, for me, I want to get the light blue one, and the controllers are up right now. You're able to pre-order them on the PlayStation Store or at certain select retailers. Like for me, I went ahead and pre-ordered the starlight blue controller through Best Buy. And I think through Best Buy, I think the release date for it is on January 22nd. But if you would have done it through the PlayStation website or whatever, though, you could get it. I think that would be the absolute earliest you can get it, and it's like middle of the month. It's like January 14th or 15th or something like that. But I was like, I,
yeah.
I just like Best Buy because at least I can go there. It'll be easier to do a return if something were crazy to happen or
So
something like that. And two, my
I
rewards with Best Buy, so that's the reason why I just got it from them.
so I guess they're like since due to the PS5's unique color scheme, this is gonna be their alternative to making special editions or making new colors for just consoles.
I really hope so because it'll be so much easier. Just the which I think the plates they cost like $55 standard. There'd
Yeah,
probably be
yeah.
more if it was a special edition, but it'll
I
be
have
much
seen.
easier buying those plates and replacing those for a limited edition than going out and buying a whole new console, which it's already hard to buy a console to begin with, and trying to get a limited edition that way. I feel like it's gonna be a much better approach.
Yeah, at least for me, I'd probably just get like a custom plate for like probably a bit cheaper.
Now I do remember I think D brand was the one that most people were getting before PlayStation did their official stuff. And surprisingly, I think D brand sold their thing for about it was 50-ish. Like these official plates are 55. D brand stuff I think was
Or
like right around 50-ish. It was like $5 or $6 cheaper than the official one. So yeah, that plastic is still gonna cost no matter what. Now, if you get
yeah,
anything cheaper than that, it's I guess there might be some stuff that's cheaper than that, but the quality I don't think is as high as what would be D brand or the official Sony ones.
I will say like and if you're skilled, obviously you can make your own. You can spray paint your own if you're actually good at it.
If you're good at it, because if you're anybody like me, my art is kind of limited, and I
There's
know I
probably
will, I
gonna
will I will mess up something. I will mess up something.
there's probably gonna be some like fucking maniacs out there that just take off the plates and just never put new ones on. Like they just use the PS5 without the white plates on the side.
Oh no, that look
Like like like
horrendous. What the
yeah,
heck?
like a naked PS5.
It'd be like a naked router. Oh no. Somebody's gonna post random images up when they're
Maybe I
taking the
would do
plates
that.
off.
Maybe I would
No.
do that.
No, man, you're
It's
gonna
got
mess your
like
console up. You're gonna mess it
it's
up
got like
somehow.
it's got the giant fan exposed. Oh wait, actually someone actually made a curved. I'm gonna send this in talking back. I don't know even know if you can like put this. no mic. I mean, I'm gonna send this in no mic. I don't know if you can put this on the stream, but like something like this would be really cool if they make like different shaped ones.
Hmm.
It's one that like shows the fan and has, I would argue, a better design. But like I like the design of the PS5, but I would say that this is better.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm looking at it. Oh, I don't know how I would feel with the whole what is it? With
Or
that
make the
whole
fan the
with the fan being
PlayStation
exposed
logo.
where you're able to see it like that. I don't know, that kind of turns me
Or like
off.
the Series X kind of does the same thing on top of the top of Series X is just, they make it green, but like obviously it's just to let more like air out. I don't really think it needs it because like I don't know, at least for me, I hardly hear my PS5 when I'm playing a game. I don't hear that thing at all. I hear
Yeah,
it when it's turning on or booting up a game, but that's it. That's hardly a bad thing.
yeah, and I got it up on the screen right now. I'm like, yeah, I mean, yeah, because I mean the fan is pretty cool,
The
and I
fan,
don't really hear it too much to be honest. Though the most I ever would hear it is like if you're sticking the disc in for the first time and you're trying to have the thing install a game. That's the most that you hear that thing grind. But any kind of system will grind when you're trying to install something like that or whatever though.
yeah, I just think, obviously at this point, it doesn't need to be said, but like they should, now that we have PS5 like skins and stuff, make more PS5s. People want it. I shouldn't have had to go wait online for 7 hours just to get one. That's ridiculous. It's not like it was launch day. On Thanksgiving when I was waiting for a PS5 for 7 hours. It's not like it was launch day. I just really wanted one.
Hmm. Yeah, I
They
mean,
shouldn't have to do that for any system a year after it releases.
that's the problem. The world we live in, the whole COVID effect thing, it's still hitting the industry pretty hard. I mean, shoot, I think there was even one, and I didn't even report about this in one of my episodes though, or actually this is actually fairly recent though. But I remember seeing one tweet where they said, "Hey, you want to know how crazy like I think there was one or there's two things I wanted to share real quick. One, you can look at
Yeah,
the sales reports over there in Japan. Japan almost sold up to like almost 500,000 units for the Switch, dispersed between the not 500,000. It was a good chunk between the Switch OLED, the standard base Switch, and the Switch Lite. However, if you looked at how many PS5 sold in Japan, it was 1,000 something in comparison to the few 100,000 that the Switch was able to sell. Like Japan, or not Japan, but Sony literally is pushing more PS5 units. Not saying, hey, Japan, you're getting literally squat because we're gonna give it to some of these other higher demand countries like us here in America and people over there across the pond in Europe, where they know they're gonna sell
yeah.
like more like hotcakes over there. Like that's how crazy
But
it's getting.
but the thing about the PS5 in that case, Zard, is it's if you think about it, it's selling tremendously good. If all of their stock is immediately being bought, yeah, it's high demand and they're not meeting that demand, but they are like selling every single console they make. So like PlayStation isn't gonna like, do a damn thing. I do think it's gonna get slightly better
It
because
should
like
get slightly better
that
in the year of
that Thanksgiving
2022.
drop was big. Well, no, yeah, not
Yeah.
only just like yeah, that Thanksgiving drop, there was 20 PS5s at my store and 24 Xboxes. I could have gotten there at like 2 o'clock instead of
Wait,
10
you said
and
how
still got
much? You said how much?
20 P 20 PS5s and
All
24
physical
Xbox
or
Series
digital or
X. Oh, they were all disc. They were all disc for the PS5s, but like that line got big really fast. There was
I
someone
got you.
waiting there for 30 hours before me because they wanted to make sure really have to go out searching to even find info on how to get one. I just don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah, so
With
yeah.
me, like I told you about the stories of me literally going onto Walmart the second that it opened and still not getting one because it kicked me out of queue. It's frustrating.
Yeah. It is frustrating and I think we're gonna probably run into these issues further along as we go into I think a good chunk of 2022. I would say almost to summer slash maybe early fall, we're probably still gonna be running into these issues because it's not just like consoles like the Series X and the PS5. It's also with anything ranging from cars and even with laptops or computers and stuff like that. Or if you're trying to mess with sound, like the chip shortage is real, basically across the board. We just see it hard because we're just invested in the gaming space though, but know some people that are trying to
Yeah,
get cars as well, and they can't get what they want because they don't got the certain chip to
yeah,
put up in it. So, I mean, it's just gonna take a while for things to kind of pick back up to where they are.
yeah.
It is kind of crazy. What is this?
And
This
I
is
think,
it's gonna be like what 2.5 years almost working like this. I'm like,
yeah,
bro.
yeah. I think the main thing that's just annoying with PS5 specifically, because everything has shortages. Like, I could go buy a Switch right now, and like maybe it would be a slightly like, I might buy a Switch for like maybe 50 above asking price, while a PS5 it sells for 500, and I can get one for like 800 minimum, and that's not even new. Like a new PS5 in sealed would be like 1,000 on average, and
Yeah,
that's ridiculous. Double the price for something already that expensive is stupid. It's
yeah.
not shipping price either. It's like, no, it's just artificially inflating it because they know they can. It's not like the Switch where obviously enough have been sold already. Like, the Switch, hasn't the Switch already sold over 100 million, I think, right? Or is
It's
that,
getting
I don't know,
close. I
I'm
think
blasting.
it. I think basically
It
when
probably
we get
already has
updated
now.
numbers, when we get updated numbers
It
going into
will.
like beginning of January, I'm pretty sure it will pass that threshold. Because literally,
It will
like what
pass
the week of
100
Black
million.
Friday, I
Let me check.
think
Let me
it
check.
sold 1 million units the week of Black Friday. So
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know if we have
definitely.
any. I hadn't seen any
I
official numbers to past 100, but I'm thinking it's probably getting there now.
Okay, so the last sales data we had was apparently 92 million units. Yeah, a 92 million units have been sold, which
And that,
means it's sold almost, I'm pretty sure almost 6 times as much as the Wii U and more than the entire 3DS family of systems, I think.
yeah. And I know we would have
But like,
definitely surpassed it by now because what was it? Oh, that was the other thing I was about to mention, like how I mentioned that previous story with the Japan sales. I think somebody tweeted out and said, "Hey, if you want to know how bad the shortage is right now, the PS4 plus PS5 barely equal the amount of sales of what the Switch sold currently for what was this holiday season around like the Black Friday time. But in comparison to previous years, when it was the Xbox One, the PS4, and yes, even the Wii U, those combination of those three systems sold way more consoles than where we at with the PS5, the Switch, and the Xbox Series X. And I was like, what the freak? I was like, that
yeah,
just kind of shows you
not
the scale of where we at right now across the board.
yeah, not even to mention the whole thing about um the difference with that is that uh PS, well, yeah, well, Switch obviously has been going on for 4 years, and as much as I like where Pokemon games are headed, they obviously sell tons of systems. Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl coming out before Black Friday with a Switch Lite. Oh, it had a Switch Lite, right?
Yeah, yeah, it
And
had a special edition Switch Lite.
there
I
are
kind of
so
wanted to
many
get it,
people
but
that
I'm like,
bought.
I really didn't need
Yeah,
it.
I don't know. I think the Sword and Shield one honestly looks better. If we're talking about how it looks, it had the different colored buttons on different
I
sides, which
I
I think is
just
a
I
better
guess I'm not a
aesthetic.
big fan of different colored buttons. I like some
I
uniformity with
like
with
that.
my kind of
Like
stuff.
there
I
was
don't
there was
know.
that one there was that one 3DS that had the Famicom buttons. It was really cool.
Yeah,
Like
but
it's
yeah,
just preference, I guess. But like, it's just the Switch is only selling more while the PS5, yeah, it's technically selling more, but it's selling the same amount. Like I guarantee there's probably a bunch of unsold Switches, you know what I mean? Not
yeah.
every single not every single Switch is sold.
Not every single one, but they tend to fly off the shelf a little faster, obviously, than other things.
I've
It's
gone
like,
in
well,
and
if you ain't gonna get
obviously,
an Xbox Series X or a PS5 for Christmas, what's the next
oh,
best thing you're gonna
and
do? You're gonna
and
sell
it's
a Switch.
and
Because
it's
literally, I had a cousin
yeah,
that he wanted a PS5 for a while. And
yeah,
this was like what, earlier this year? Well, no. I think it was like, no, it wasn't last year. No, was it last year? It was sometime between Christmas of last year to like early, maybe March or something like that, or something like that. He couldn't get a PS5, so he got a Switch. And it wasn't until like I think
yeah.
a month or two ago where his dad was able to finally get him a PS5. So little things like that happen. Like if you ain't able to get one thing, you might as well go ahead and go with the other thing. And I feel like that's happening a lot.
Yeah, like Zard, I'm looking at this right now. Here's an example of like how bad it is specifically for PlayStation. Xbox at least allows different avenues into gaming. Cause tell me, I think there's still no games that are exclusive to Series X.
I
If
don't
I'm
think so,
wrong,
because with the whole smart delivery thing, like they even have it on a lot of their games that have the Series X logo. It literally says Xbox One, and it's also compatible with Xbox Series X. I think basically depending on if you're sticking it in a one or in a Series X, it just changes like the resolution or how frame,
yeah,
or it might give you more
and
options. Obviously, if
yeah,
you have it on the Series X, and then it just kind of downwaters it a little bit if you're playing it on the Xbox
yeah.
One, stuff like that.
And but like right now, I can literally go on Amazon and buy a Series S right now for 300 officially.
Oh no, yeah, I
You,
can
you
I
just
can
do
I
it.
can I
Yeah,
can get one
you
at
just
my
do it.
Best Buy. I can get one at my Best Buy right
Crazy.
now too.
You can just go and buy it. Even like a bundle. Like I'm looking at the stupid Fortnite bundle they have. Like, a bundle that you think would be limited and sold out quickly. There isn't that much demand for. And there's not that much demand because, yeah, people can access the games. People aren't buying a PS5 just because it's more powerful. They're buying it for like games like Miles Morales, games like Ratchet and Clank. Well, Miles Morales isn't exclusive, but like experiencing that game at like 60 FPS ray tracing and all that.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like, yeah, like obviously they throw around ray tracing as a buzzword a lot, which like it certainly is impressive. I'll give them that.
yeah,
I've been having a very good time with my PS5, but I don't think I've even gotten to a single exclusive yet. Besides like Deathloop. Yeah, Deathloop technically isn't exclusive, but it's on PC. It's a console exclusive.
yeah. But
Right
yes,
now, like, yeah, PS5 is the only situation where they have exclusive games on only one console. And I'm not counting the digital edition, because the digital edition has the exact same problem that, like, the Series S has, except the Series S you can actually get a hold of, and it's cheaper.
yeah, yes,
If you're, yeah, like, I don't know, in my opinion, if you're buying a PS5 digital edition, there's no reason not to get a Series X or S and just get the regular PS5 when it's available. Because it's just, I don't know. The fact you can't even use discs on it is like, okay, have have fun with deleting games every 5 minutes.
yeah. That is
Like I
certainly
I know
true.
they I know they make you down. I know you can still download the games, but it's a lot faster to download them back and forth if you have the disc, because
Yeah,
it's downloading from the disc.
yeah, and
That's
I
the whole
think that's the
thing.
main reason why I like to kind of prefer to get my PlayStation games via disc. There's only like a couple of games, like Persona 5 Royal, I have that digitally. Everybody and their mama that has a PS5 obviously has Astrobot digitally because that comes with the system though. And I'm trying to think. I
Yeah,
think there's maybe one. No. I think that's it. I think that's it in terms of my digital games. Everything else is physical. So yeah, so I
yeah,
just prefer that because it's just a little bit faster.
and obviously Switch doesn't have any of that exclusivity thing. They got their whole Switch has a whole like another issue going on, but like that's completely related to its library and not really getting access to it.
And speaking of that, we might as well go ahead and transition over to our last gaming news topic of the night because
Yeah,
apparently we got confirmation. We knew that Paper Mario 64 was going to get released for this month, but when that day finally came for us to get it in our hands, they went ahead and announced that Banjo and Kazooie is the next game that's going to be coming out for the N64 expansion pack. Like and then literally like a few days ago or something like that, they came out of nowhere randomly in the middle of the night. I think it was like shoot, like 7 or 8 o'clock at night my time, and they had went ahead and announced that five more
Yeah.
Genesis games were going to be dropped out, shadow drop, just right then and there. And I was like, what the heck?
I think. Wait, you're cutting out on my end. Let me join in.
Oh,
See.
am I cutting out? Okay, go ahead.
Alright, can you hear me? Can you hear
Yeah, I
me?
can. Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, it might have been Discord acting up or something like that though. But yeah,
My
so
games, the one game a month thing would not be as bad if we started with a better collection, and if they didn't immediately stop doing SE and like SE. I can't talk. If they didn't stop doing Nintendo Entertainment System and Super Nintendo games, it'd be a lot better. Like, okay, we get, one N64 game, two SNES, and three NES. I think that would be fine, you know, every month.
yeah, because at this point, the people that don't have expansion pack, they're literally eating nothing. Like we at least got what at the current moment in terms of where we at right now in the month of December, we got one N64 games and 5 Genesis games. Meanwhile, if you're just on the base tier Nintendo Switch Online, you ain't got nothing yet.
Yeah, I think right now this is like, it's kind of their strategy where a lot of people bought, let's think about it. Animal Crossing is one of the best-selling games on Switch. A lot of people only bought expansion pack for Animal Crossing. The N64 thing was just to sweeten the deal for like Nintendo fanboys. They don't really have to try with it, and that's kind of shown by the emulation being shoddy on most games. Paper Mario was okay though. Paper Mario was emulated almost perfectly,
And I
but I
feel
don't
like
know if you've seen.
RPGs are going to be easier to do that with because I mean you don't have to really
Yeah,
worry about latency because it's not an action or
well, yeah,
whatever
you
though.
do. You
Somewhat, but
still
not
no
not as bad. Somewhat, but not as
needs to
bad.
be fixed.
If I said it
Well,
like that.
Paper Mario with the action commands, yeah, it needs to be fixed. And
And
there's a bit of latency, but that's not the issue. For some reason, some of the menus lag where they didn't before, like real bad. But then there's one of them that runs completely fine. Somebody
hmm.
went into the files, and apparently it's intentional. It intentionally lags some of the menus, which doesn't make sense.
I think I remember it's with something with the lagging and trying to catch up or something like that. I know when you're doing online games when you're playing with other people, so it slows you down so that way whoever's the slowest one in the link so they can catch up. It kind of makes sense, though you wish it worked a little bit better than that. But for the sake of
And
just a solo player
also,
game, that wouldn't make a lot of sense, really.
yeah, and that just brings a whole other issue. These N64 and Genesis, the online is so much worse than what we're used to with these services. I think
Wait,
the one
you
reason
mean
why
the
people.
N64, right? The Genesis one runs almost near
No,
perfect.
no,
Almost
no.
near.
The
From what I
Genesis.
hear from a lot of
I was.
people, the Genesis online stuff, a lot of people say that that's probably the best way to play. It's even better to play those games on the online servers in comparison to what was it, the Sega Genesis collection that you can separately buy on the Switch. They
No,
for some
really?
reason some people have been
Not
saying that
really.
that emulation runs better than some of it right there. You can go and look in the comments on some of those. Like I think on that tweet that Nintendo made for when the Genesis games were coming out,
Yeah,
you'll
I
see a lot
think.
of people saying that, and I'm like, well, I can't be the judge of that. I don't own the original collection or anything like that. But from a lot of people, I heard from a lot of people, and even people like like Spawnwave or whatever, though, they'll mention that say, yeah, that emulation does run better on the online than it does for like some of the other
I think
collections that Sega has
the
done.
whole the whole thing is that Sega Genesis emulation has always had a weird sound. Like the sound on it has always been a little bit weird. But
Mm.
like, yeah, Nintendo 64 game are kind of reasonable with what they've done. Like a lot of them just, water. Yeah, I don't have to bring up the water temple,
Oh no.
but like, the Wii U did it better for Switch for like N64 emulation. The whole issue with the Wii U is that it was just dim. It was low. It was like the lighting was weird, which is has been fixed. But like the latency, like I tried playing Ocarina of Time, it feels awful. Just it feels like everything happens a second after I input the button, which isn't
And
how
I
it's supposed to feel.
and I've been going through and playing that game too. And from what I've been noticing is it's okay, and it's like, well, I say it, I guess it's technically my second time I played the game. I never finished the game. Like I played it on 3DS and only got, so I can't remember how far I got up in that. And I was like, I really want to play on a TV or whatnot though. So then I started playing it on the N64. I do notice there's a slight little bit of something, but because I don't have a ton of experience with the game, it's not groundbreaking for me. But if you were somebody that grew up in that area where you've been playing that sucker like the back of your head, like for example, if there was like latency with Mario 64, I would know that in a heartbeat because I played the crap out of that game. I can't say how many hours I put up in that game, but with Ocarina of Time, I don't have as much experience with it, so I know there's a little something there, but it's not bothering me as much as the purists or the people that played it as much. But I know it's there.
Yeah. And also the whole thing, like there's so many for most of these games, like at least the Sega Genesis ones, there's better ways to play them. Like, and also think about it, with the Sega Genesis like collections, they go on sale a lot and at least then you actually own the games.
Oh yeah, and speaking of the games, I might as well go ahead and mention the games that we did get within this drop because let's see. Oh shoot, I think I might
The
have just
Genesis
lost it.
games I wasn't very interested in those Genesis games.
Dang, I just had a list of them Genesis games just a second ago, and I guess I did something to it. What the heck?
I can try
Oh,
to
here,
pull
here we
one
go.
up,
Here
but
we
I
go.
don't
Here we go.
remember
I got
a
it.
single one.
So the list is Alter Beast, Toe Jam and Earl, Dynamite Heady, Sword and Vermilion, and Thunder Force 2. The only one I remember out of that whole entire list, I think, is Altered Beast. And I can't remember how did I remember it or something. I don't know. Maybe it was something else that Sega has done or released in the past. And I don't know, something about a big old beast that you fight up in one of the games that just kind of
I
stands out. That's the only one I kind of remember.
I remember Toe Jam and Earl just because they had that like new game a couple of years ago.
Hmm.
Toe Jam and Earl is like the one I remember mostly out of all of those, but even then, isn't really necessarily the best. Like, not really a lot of those Genesis games are interesting. You got a couple that people like, Gunstar Heroes and like, obviously Sonic 2. But like, I still feel like both of those collections you turn on for 5 minutes and that's it. I'm pretty sure I haven't even beaten any of the games on the N64 collection except for Mario 64. And the best thing that that collection gave us was Mario 64 with, backwards long jump.
Yeah.
Because like, there's no reason that they took it out. Like, it didn't break. Like, okay, yeah, you could skip a lot of stuff, but like, no casual person's gonna do that if they actually want to play the game. You know,
Hmm.
it just feels like, oh, like we want people to not beat this really quickly, so like we need to make it. Well, like, I don't know. Obviously they were lazy and used a patched version of the game that was probably easier to, because it had Rumble. And since it had a Rumble, it was easier to apply. But now, with N64 Online, and I was going to say this with Banjo, the fact that definitive versions for these games already exist, there's no reason to put them on, like, N64 Online. Like, I'm happy that Mario 64 is there. There's no reason that it should have been there. Like, they already had it on 3D All Stars. So, like, what's the point?
I think the
If we
point,
get
at least with that one, is because the whole limited launch edition. So if you happen to be one of those people that picked up the Switch after the anniversary, then you're kind of thankful. At least now you have an outlet of finding a way to play it.
I
let's
think
just,
you can
let's
still
assume you
get
didn't
it.
have any retro games or you didn't have the Wii U or something for Virtual Console, whatever. Though, if the Switch is the only thing you had, and you really want to play Mario 64, you're kind of thankful they put it on that service.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Alexis, shut up.
I say you can get Super Mario 3D All Stars. You can still get it. You can get it pre-owned from like GameStop for 55. You can get it on Amazon for like base price. Yeah, on Amazon 3D All Stars is like $58.
All
No.
right.
Like
Yeah.
so basically there was no reason to make it limited. I'm pretty sure the world would be the exact same if they didn't make that a limited release.
Yeah, it probably would have been the case though. But yeah, so I think that's pretty much it in terms
Yeah, and
of
oh
all
yes.
the gaming stuff I had
But
planned out though. But
since we're on the topic of Banjo, the Xbox version is just the best version. Don't even bother with like yeah, obviously the N64 one is gonna be the one that everyone remembers. But like, I recently played Banjo Kazooie on the Xbox Live Arcade version. It's so good in 60 FPS with widescreen. It makes the game, and also it fixed like the notes system. If you remember, like they made notes just a regular collectible instead of losing your progress with them when you die, like the original.
yeah, I think I remember hearing something about that though. But yeah, it makes
Yeah,
sense though. But at least for me, I'm cheap. I don't got an Xbox, so this is the way how
you
I'll
can
be
get
playing
it.
the game.
Well,
This is the way
you
how
can
I'll be
get it.
playing the game
To be
for
fair, you
cheap.
can get it on PC Game Pass as well, and just
I
PC
could,
Store.
but that means it cost me $15. I already paid for this service. I'm just playing it on here. I'm playing it the OG
Yeah,
way. But at least I'll
yeah,
get be
you
able
know
to
what I
check
mean
this
though.
off my checklist of my Smash Brothers representation game. So I can finally put this one off my checklist though. But yeah, so that's basically it in terms of all the gaming news topics that I got planned out for tonight. So we'll go ahead and move over to the next brand new segment, that being so about that show. All right, so starting off with this segment though, shoot, there's been a lot of stuff I've been currently going through and watching for this series though. I literally, I think like just before this podcast has happened, I actually managed to go through and watch National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation because you know it's the
Oh,
holiday season and stuff. So
yeah,
I
I love
I have to
that
start
movie.
getting through my Christmas movies though and stuff like that. So that's the first one I managed to watch. Gonna watch a whole bunch more this upcoming week though. But Steven, what you been watching lately?
I watched part one and half of part two of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I don't watch much anime, but I watched that one, and it has certainly been bizarre, sticking close to the name. It's
Bro.
it's been a very it's been a very interesting show, but I've been liking it so far. I was supposed to watch more of that tonight, but it's like obviously late, and I got work tomorrow. But like very interesting. And then obviously I'm gonna be watching Christmas stuff soon. Every year I watch like Home Alone and well like I watch Polar Express most years as well. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation's really good though.
Polar Express is kind of I don't know. It's okay, but it's like once I've seen it a couple of times, I'm like, all right, like that ain't my go-to one. Now, National
I
Lampoon's
used
Christmas Vacation, though, I was balling out laugh. I don't know how I laughed that hard every
I
single
think
year when
no
I watch it, but
matter
there's always little things in there you don't pick up on, and it's still funny nonetheless.
yeah, and I don't know if you've seen Home Alone, but no matter how many times I watch it, I still always have fun watching him like set up all the traps and all of them go off.
Now, which Home
It's
Alone?
just
The
always
first one or the
first
second
one
one?
or well,
The
I
first.
like both. Like here's the problem. The second one is still good. It's just the same as the first one. The second one is just like, oh, the first one but in a city. Oh.
I think the
And
one that because I
they
know
do
my
different things
sister
differently.
likes it. That's her go-to series, and I always wind up watching it whenever she watches it though. But I just seen the second one more than I think I seen the first one.
I like the second one a lot, but like, the first one's the classic.
Hmm. Now I do need to go through and watch the other two big ones I usually go through and watch every year. The Grinch, with Jim Carrey and whatnot though. You always gotta go through and watch that one. And then I have to go and watch Elf. Those are like the three big ones I always watch every year. And then obviously there's other ones that you watch like the Santa Claus 1, 2, and 3. And
I've never seen those.
you never
I
seen the
don't
Santa
know.
Claus? What the
I
heck?
They never really interested me.
Bro, man, they're all on Disney Plus, man. You need to watch the first one. The first one is still good. I don't man, you missing out. That's just good stuff right there.
Yeah, I was personally just I never really found those movies like, oh, I want to watch them. I never was like that.
Bruh. And then obviously you got to watch your Rudolph and all of that stuff though. I didn't
Oh
watch
yeah,
any of the claymation ones, you know, like all of those kind of ones right there. I had to kind of go through there and just sit down and watch some of those.
yeah. Obviously, all of those are classics. Don't gotta,
Yeah.
all those. Like, also, like, is this only about shows, or can we tread back to the pop culture segment for a second? Because I wasn't here for that.
Bruh.
But like,
It was
I'm just
primarily
gonna,
about the shows,
you know,
but if you have
okay,
something about
yeah,
the
but
pop
like,
culture, go ahead.
okay, well, yeah, I guess I'll say it about both. I haven't watched it yet, but Kingpin officially is revealed in Hawkeye, and that's cool and all because it's the Daredevil Kingpin.
You know what? I wish you would have said something about that. I could have at least said spoilers alert before you
Oh
would have
my
gone
God,
in there and saying
I'm
that.
I'm 90% sure
I
that
hadn't
like
even done my episode 5 review for it. And then even then, like at least if I would have put that out, people would have known I might have had a potential
it's
to
all
talk about it. But
over.
whatever.
It's all over at this point. Like
Ugh.
he's in the credit. Like it was trending. He has an emote on Twitter right now, like a little emoji he got as part of like a Hawkeye promotion. They're not
You know
keeping him a
what?
secret anymore.
No, no. Usually, I always avoid Twitter on the day that a new Hawkeye episode comes out, and you can avoid all of the hashtag trendings and all of that kind of stuff. So that's
Can't
what I
really
normally
avoid
do,
it.
and somehow I avoided it. I avoided it, and I didn't see the episode until was it Thursday or Friday after the Wednesday whenever the episode aired, and I didn't get spoiled to it at all. Like I know how to dodge my spoilers if you know if need be, and somehow I've been doing pretty good with Spider-Man No 2. Like I hadn't seen anything on that, but I think most people have been more respectable on that. Kind of similar to how people treated respect for Endgame and Infinity War with the hashtag don't
Oh yeah.
spoil and all of that.
Okay. So Endgame. Literally the only thing I ever got spoiled on for Endgame was just Thanos dying. Like so, I seen some comment on Twitter about Thanos dying twice. Thought it was a joke. It wasn't.
Oh, I see what you're talking about. Yeah,
Like, oh, Thanos. Yeah, someone like out of context spoilers for Endgame. Thanos dies twice, and obviously, it's just because it was the
the
past one
time
as well.
travel and all of that. Yeah, that makes sense.
And that was
Was there another
I
thing
got
you
a
were talking
little.
about?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say like the thing with Kingpin, and like I was gonna go back to the pop culture segment because now we got a pretty good villain. Oh, can I? Okay, can I give a spoiler? All right, you haven't seen No Way Home, right?
No, I have
Or
not.
have
So
you?
no, I have not.
Okay.
I go and see it
All right.
tomorrow
I'm not
afternoon, like mid
spoiling it,
afternoon.
but I'm just saying, without saying anything about No Way Home, we already know that they've contracted Tom Holland for another trilogy. It'd be
Yeah,
cool to see
now that
Kingpin in a
yeah,
Spider-Man movie.
now that I do remember seeing. Like I know there's like a
Yeah,
fourth and a fifth movie. I didn't hear anything about a sixth, but it probably would have been the case or whatever
probably
though.
gonna
But
be
they're gonna milk
probably
Spider-Man out of
setting
all
up.
he's worth, which is gonna be crazy because I guess at the end of the day, whenever they finally, I don't know if they actually would technically retire Spider-Man like the way how they did with like with with Iron Man and
Wasn't
Captain
the
America
original
because
wasn't the
both of those
original
two got
plan
only
to
3 movies.
wasn't the original plan to just bring Tom Holland's Spider-Man into the Sony verse or whatever? Like have him fight Sony's Venom at first, and they didn't do that, and they just brought
Not that I
yeah.
heard of, but then again, I'm not always in the rumor mill stuff because they're able to get a lot of rumors and a lot of that stuff sometimes or oftentimes. I feel like 70% of the time happens. So I just kind of stay away from that mess because I just want to, experience it on the big screen or whatever, though. But yeah, I hadn't heard anything like that.
But yeah, like and without spoiling No Way Home, I watched that movie. I really liked it. I really liked the unexpected moments that happen. Have you gotten spoiled on it at all? Just
No, like
anything?
I've been doing really good. I hadn't seen not one thing. So I'm in
That's
that
good.
final stretch because literally, was it 12? 1, 2, 3? I will literally be seeing the movie in 30, 40, 16 hours from now.
Oh, so you're gonna see it soon.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm seeing it tomorrow.
that's good. So yeah, like I, like I really like a lot of the performances in it. Like I can. obviously, like I can say, Willem Dafoe is fantastic in the movie, in my opinion.
Hmm.
Reprises his character perfectly. A lot of funny moments. Like a lot of moments that I liked. They fixed a lot of the characters I thought would be kind of shitty. And overall, I got what I expected. I liked it a lot.
Well, that's good to hear
I
because
was
I
ex
think for the most
Yeah,
part, I think I heard from most people they said they really enjoyed it. I hadn't seen anybody like do hate, but then again, I hadn't been been risking it trying to go into some of their comment sections or shoot even like in Marvel's tweets and whatever. Though I usually like reading some of the comments of what people like to say, but obviously I can't even do that now
yeah.
at this
No, people are
point.
spoiling.
Yeah,
Yep.
so I was like,
Yeah,
I was
people
like,
are
yep, I can't,
spoiling
I
in the
can't read, I
comments.
can't read him until I can't read them until I watch the movie. Once I watch the movie, then I can go ahead and see what people really been saying about it though. But yeah, so outside of that, I think there was one other thing I've been watching lately. Obviously, I always watch a bunch of anime, and one that I've been really liking so far is My Senpai is Annoying. I don't think I talked about this in a
What
previous
the hell?
segment, but no, it's literally about like this girl, and this girl's like 22ish years old, but she looks like looks like a little kid based on her height or whatever though. She's working basically a full-fledged adult and whatnot
Sounds
though.
like a show Sonic would like.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe just maybe, but she works and whatever though. And she has like a supervisor boss, literally like a big dude, like big buff dude or whatever though. But basically, kind of works underneath him. And slowly but surely, she kind of builds affection towards him. Even though I think she's 22, and I want to say the dude's probably about like 35, 36, or 37, somewhere up to like in his mid 30s or something like that though. But it is adorable kind of
Yeah,
seeing this kind of play out or whatever though. So like she kind of has like a small little crush that's slowly growing over the thing. I'm not normally like a big slice because this is basically like a slice of life anime with a little bit of rom com
yeah,
stuff up in it. And normally I'm not a big slice of life person, but the way how Funimation's doing this dub and stuff, I don't know. I've just been really enjoying it though. So yeah, that's been kind of like the my little my little slice of life that I've been enjoying, at least within the
yeah.
anime scene. And I've been watching a bunch of other animes, but that's the spotlight for at least this one segment for this one episode, though.
I do kind of wish I watched more TV because, like, ever since some of my favorite shows have ended, I've just really not had the urge to watch TV anymore. And nowadays, any shows that I would be interested in are just all over Disney Plus.
Yeah, because
There's
at least for
like,
me, Disney Plus and
there's so many
Funimation are my
shows.
main two.
At least for me, like, for the watch a lot of old stuff, I might just go ahead and get like HBO Max. Because
HBO Max,
HBO Max,
you can't go wrong with that because all the movies that you get like at the especially during 2020, like what the Tom
I
and
think
Jerry, you were able
Matrix.
to get that. You were
I
able to get was it the Mortal Kombat movie? Like there were certain movies they do little deals with, so you can't go wrong with that service. It's actually fairly good.
Isn't the Matrix movie there? I think. From what I think so, right? Like
I
you can watch
do
Matrix
not
on
I
there.
do not know about that one.
I
I
don't
don't
know if
know.
there's any more. I know that it was like, it was Mortal Kombat, Space Jam, uh Zack Snyder's Justice League. At least for 2020, they did have a good amount of them. 2021 Godzilla versus Kong, whatever. I don't
Oh
know.
shoot, you're
Like,
right. It's literally gonna
was
be
it?
it's gonna be in theaters and streaming exclusively on HBO Max on December the 22nd.
Okay. Yeah,
Dang,
like
so I
that.
don't
That's a
have to go to the theater.
very,
Huh.
very interesting choice. I didn't really want to go to the theater for No Way Home, but once I got my $10 big bucket of popcorn and a Pepsi Icy, I felt like I was having a good time.
Yeah. Yeah. I always
Like
like the audience
movies.
reaction with my Marvel
There is
movies.
one, there is one specific moment in No Way Home where the audience did get too loud to even hear the movie. So like,
I imagine so. Was there one or two in credit scenes? At least tell me that.
there. All right, so yeah, if you really want to know, there is two, but
Okay.
the second
That's
one
all I need to know. That's all I need to know. Don't tell me if it's crazy or if it's not like oh it's not 100% necessary. That's all I want
No,
to
I
know.
just
That's all
no,
I
just
want to know.
as in it. No, I'll tell you right now that they're both pretty big.
Okay. Okay. That's all I need to know. All
So
right.
like, yeah. So like I was kind of gonna wait or just leave after the first one because I did know what the second one was because it's been rumored like crazy. But yeah.
Uh, Alrighty. Well, I guess that about does it for that so about that show segment. So we'll go ahead and move on to the next segment, that being what you've been playing. Alrighty, so here we go. So the next segment is going to be over place, or I was about to say PlayStation 5. I literally had you running in the back of my ear, Steven, and I had you on mute because I know you're going to talk during my little transitional segments or whatever, though. So now you're actually able to talk, though. But yes, but recently I've been playing. I managed to finish Final Fantasy VII Remake, and I had a swell good time of a blast. Finished that and finished the intermission DLC, so I'm completely done with that game. That's another one that's checked off my PlayStation list. And I think the next one that's up on my list now will be Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. That'll be the next one I'm playing though. But that's mainly what I've been playing. I've been playing some Splatoon 2 with Bronto from time to time, though. But I think that's I've been sinking most of my time in the Final Fantasy VII remake. That's what I've primarily been playing, though. But what about you, Steven?
You already know what I've been playing, and I don't know if you've been in the loop, but I have not been really necessarily having a good time playing it. Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach released on Thursday, and it has been a hell of a ride with that game. It was supposed to release at midnight, then they said, okay, it's released. Oh, but then PlayStation's like, oh, it's releasing at 3 a.m. And then the company behind it says, oh, it's releasing tomorrow at 9 p.m. So we're delaying it a whole almost day. And then, I load the game. I have to download um uh, like 29 gigabytes total. And then once I get into the game, it runs awful. It runs awful. It's buggy. It's got really weird design choices, and it's not at all what I expected going into the game.
Bro, it
And
seems like you got
like
slapped across the face with that game.
kinda yeah, and like I was streaming it, and everyone else watching. It's like yeah, it doesn't look that good. It's not look that good at all, and it doesn't at all. It looks like a launch title. It looks like Slender, but like it looks like Slender if it had the Pokemon tree. You know the Pokemon tree? Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine that, but like everything in the game is like that. Nothing, hardly anything has textures. The lighting is flat. Cameras in the game, because FNAF's all about camera systems. The cameras look awful. They have no lighting, and it's like really low FPS. The game in performance mode consistently is like inconsistently around 30, sometimes goes up to 60. And that's in performance mode. Visual mode, expect 10 FPS.
Oof. All right. Yeah.
And this is a and
That
this is a
sounds rough.
free roam game. Like it's a free roam game, so it's not like okay, it's 10 FPS, but I'm at least like it's like a walking simulator. No, you move around a lot. It's very annoying and not fun at all. There's a stupid mechanic, Zard, where basically in the game, in order to beat the game, because like obviously you're not gonna play it, so I can spoil. There are three animatronics that you need to beat, like boss battles that you need to beat to in before, but also you need to wait. As you're beating the game, time slowly goes by. Once you get to 6 a.m., you can leave the building. You know how FNAF works. 6 a.m. you win. But at 6 a.m., they give you a choice. You can either stay, beat all of the bosses, and get the true ending, or you can leave and get the bad ending. But the bad part, if you stay to get the good ending, the game no longer saves. So if you die at all, beating any of the bosses, you have to go all the way back to 6 a.m.
Ooh.
So the game basically, in order to make it quote unquote harder, it stops you from saving, which is extremely frustrating because the
How many
boss
bosses?
battles are
How many boss battles are there? I guess
there
between
are
that point
there are
and the
no
the
there
end
are
game.
oh between that point and the end game there are two. Before that you can beat at least two before you go to these no save point. So before the point of no return, you can do two boss battles, and then after that you do another, and then for the final boss. But yeah, the whole thing
So
you can't save.
it's basically like a boss rush, which you see in most games, or most
Yeah,
games in
but
terms
you
of
still
it's
have to
not like a
do.
boss rush. It could be
Yeah,
one boss, but has several phases. Like shoot, in Kingdom Hearts 2,
yeah,
that was literally like 8 different phases of that
yeah.
final
But the
boss.
issue,
But goodness,
the whole issue is that that whole chunk of the game where you can't save is like 2 hours long. So you literally have to redo 2 hours of progress
oh
anytime
gosh,
you mess up. It's not
okay.
fun.
I'm
It's a lot of
used to
people.
it being up to like 20-ish to maybe 30 at tops, but 2 hours, oh shoot.
Yeah, and not even to mention, you can just get soft locked and lose all that anyway.
Hmm.
Sometimes the game can crash and you'll lose that progress because you couldn't save it. Sometimes you'll get stuck in a piece of collision and not be able to, exit out of it. There's a moment in the games art where in the game there's these hidden arcade machines that you can play and you need them for the best ending, but they literally don't work on PS5, on PS4.
Hmm.
Basically,
Oof.
you open them up and the game says to press enter. Where's the enter key on my goddamn PS5? You know what I mean? You can't access it.
Ha!
The game doesn't even let you exit it. You have to close the game and reopen it because the exit button is also applied to like a key.
Hmm.
It's so buggy and they didn't play test it. There is a main mechanic of the game that does not work right now because they implemented it incorrectly. Basically, in the game, like you're being hunted by these animatronics. But like right now, there's three animatronics that mainly hunt you. There was supposed to be another, like the main antagonist of the game doesn't work. Think about that. Imagine if you were playing Slender, but the Slender Man just did not appear, Zard. You know?
Bruh.
If it was just like that's what FNAF Security Breach feels like. It feels like you're playing Slender, but it's just collecting the 8 pages with no substance at all.
So what I'm
You
getting
get
from
that?
you is basically you're saying that this is the worst game in the series and you wasted your time and money.
Not the worst game. Well,
Yeah,
maybe,
I got you. I got you thinking
maybe.
now. I got you thinking.
I wouldn't say I wasted my money, but I would say I wasted my time because like it certainly is like 10 or so hours if you do everything. But that 10 or so hours is such an unpleasant and buggy experience, but it's like so inconsistent. Some people ran into nothing and the majority ran into a lot of issues. A lot
Hmm.
like so many yeah, I was trying to say to you, like yeah, the main antagonist of the game doesn't work. There's a meter, like when there's multiple because you're in this mall and there's multiple areas of the mall. How it's supposed to work is that the longer you stay in an area, the closer the main antagonist gets to you. And once the meter is full, they start chasing you down. And it turns into like a very, thrilling chase scene until you got to escape to the next area. But right now that meter is broken, so there's no tension. You can just sit in an area, do nothing, and just fuck around for how long. Nothing will stop you. The game's AI is glitchy. Item people animatronics when they're banging on doors, their body parts clip through the doors. They start bugging out. Their AI will just get stuck on objects which will make sections extremely easy.
Hmm.
It's probably one of the worst games I played this year.
Ha! Man,
But it's
man, oh
prob
man.
but like if but it's like one of the only games I've played recently that I like because I've been playing Miles Morales for like a little while now. But like if we're talking about games I've played within the last week, new, yeah, I haven't very much had a good time with this game. It feels like Cyberpunk 2077 made by a small indie studio where they
Well,
they delayed the game just to make it bigger, but like
well,
they didn't
shoot.
polish any of it.
Okay. Well, I guess I know
It's
how you feel about this game though. But I did
yeah,
want to say
I'm
one
venting.
other game that I've been playing or recently
What?
been playing. Uh just actually before this podcast, I was like, you know what? I might actually make it a goal to say, hey, on Thursdays instead of playing something modern like on my PS5 or the couple of games I'd still need to go back and finish on my Switch, like Monster Hunter Stories 2 and like the Great Ace Attorney and whatnot. Though I might try to make that like a dedicated retro day. Like Throwback Thursday or whatever, though. So I was thinking
Yeah,
about going through and maybe playing some of my GameCube games, but I was like, you know what? Let me play a GBA game because in the midst of me doing my GameCube hunting, I actually managed to pick up a copy of Fire Emblem and the Sacred Stones on on the GBA, and I had the Game Boy Player, so I was playing that through the GameCube or whatever on my big screen TV
yeah,
though. So I managed to get through the first couple of chapters or whatever though. So yeah, I might do a couple of chapters here and there though, and slowly kind of work my way through that game though. But ooh, I'm actually liking it so far, and I'm actually kind of getting my strategy kind of fixed because I guess between me playing that and then I know I'll play Project Triangle Strategy when that comes out in March of next year. I'm actually probably maybe gonna get the Advance Wars collection, the one and two. I'm probably gonna get that, and I'm pretty
yeah.
sure we're probably gonna get a Fire Emblem, some kind of game, and I think it hopefully is a genealogy of a Holy War remake. And there's a good chance we might get even
Probably.
that next year as well, because because with intelligent systems, the things they like to
No,
do
we're
is Fire Emblem, WarioWare, and Paper Mario. We literally had Fire Emblem first, we had Paper Mario after that, and we literally had WarioWare this year. So literally, the next one up on the schedule again would be probably another Fire Emblem game. So it's only a matter of time
Wario.
now.
Yeah, WarioWare was pretty underrated. Like it released and no one really talked about it after that, but I'd say it was a pretty good game.
I mean, that's kind of
Don't
how
think
those micro games kind of go. It's like they're good for
well
the moment,
no,
and
but
then
like
after that, they don't really have super long legs.
well yeah, it's just like it's a game you can play and have have a good amount of fun with. It's not really something that had to be the biggest game of the year. Paper Mario, a lot of people don't like, but I actually think is a pretty good game.
Oh
Fire
no,
Emblem Three
Origami King
Houses.
was good.
Fire Emblem Three Houses I really like. I
Yeah.
agree with that. Oh, here's the thing. I've already Paper Mario Thousand Year Door is my favorite game of all time, and I still liked Origami King. Like, yeah, the franchise is not what it used to be, but it's slowly getting good again. Like, Origami King is better than Sticker Star and better than Color Splash, but it doesn't even rival the first three games.
Hmm.
I still think Intelligent Systems is like they've shown they're very talented developers when they want to be. Like their Fire Emblem games they've made have mostly been really good ever since
Oh no, no. Every
the
Fire Emblem
Awakening.
game that I've been playing since Awakening, some people don't prefer Fates over Awakening, whatever. But in my personal
It's the
view,
story's kind of
Awakening
shitty from
to
what I've heard.
Fates to Fire Emblem Echo Shadows of Valentia to now where we're at Three Houses, I felt like every game has improved and they added more into it with every each new entry. Like with Awakening, they started putting in cutscenes and stuff like that. And then when you got into Fates, they start having branching paths like where what you do has consequences, and it kind of builds out your story depending on the path you want to walk. And Echoes, they introduced full voice acting for every little scene that they did up in there. And then Three Houses took what they did with Fates but did it a little bit better in terms of you get it all in one big package, but it's just so much more
Also,
expansive, and they actually did away with the weapon triangle and stuff like that, and you're able to kind of teach your units and be able to you can make them be a sword fighter or you can make them be a brawler or whatever though, a lot more customizing with the like. I feel like each new entry since Awakening they've been doing more and more stuff up in it, so I'll be
yeah,
curious whatever Fire Emblem game we get in 2022, if that be a thing, how they would approach that game.
I think Three Houses does something I really like where like it base I kind of liked the school section more than like the actual war section because like like obviously the battles are fun and all, but like it is cool like you interacting with actually interacting and getting to know your teammates helps in battle. Like it's like I know it's Persona, I know they took like hints from Persona, but it works in the Fire Emblem setting because the game has tons of replayability. 3 different routes, and most of them, story-wise and character-wise, are pretty different from each other.
Now I will
The
say
only
this
the
because
only
the fact that you
overlap is
said
the
the
villain.
yeah, the only overlap is the villain. Well, depending on the pack, kinda ish. But
Well,
the
like,
one thing I would say about the story with the whole school setting stuff, I enjoyed it. The only bad thing is when you go through and replay it, the first half of the game, which is all about the the school setting and stuff. When you see it the first time through, it's all new. It doesn't phase you not one
oh
bit.
yeah.
But when you play it the other 3 times in order to get the whole entire thing, so going through the
Well,
game like
you
4 times,
well,
that first
to be
half kind of gets
fair,
burned out. That's my
to be
only
fair,
little
you
thing about it.
to be fair, that's your fault for playing it immediately after, right?
No,
Didn't
no,
you
no, no,
play
no,
it like
no, no,
right
no. I
after?
no, I no. I'm just talking about in general. Like I think whenever I first played the game, I did the Black Eagles route, right? I did that one. I finished the game. I immediately jumped into doing the Golden Deer and got halfway through the game, like all the way up until the end of the school arc, and then I stopped and I was like, all right, I was experiencing a little bit of burnout. And then, but when I jumped back into it, like some months later, kind of close to around a Christmassy time again, the second half of the game always felt like a fresh breath of air. Like if I could move from the second half of the game from Golden Deer to immediately to the Blue Lions, I could keep playing that game. I loved it that much. But it was only when you had to go back and do that, even if I took a break, which I did, I think, between Golden Deer and Blue Lions. Anytime I had to go back through the school setting art, because you know exactly how it plays out, with some minor few things that they twist depending on, who's your
Yeah,
which
I think I think
group you go
Three
with. Then
Houses
yeah,
I think I think Three Houses would be a better game if you could stop, like, if there was a route where your actions can, like, basically stop the war, or like, well, not stop the war, but like you can change that first half of the game, because all the stuff you do in the first half drastically changes the war arc. But it would be
yeah,
cool if it some of it actually affected the school arc. Like, for example, if you could leave a character alive and they come back later to cause some issue, or if you kill them, a whole different issue happens, or stuff like that.
yeah,
Already, I like the whole thing where you can save people by you can, if you recruit as many people as possible, you technically can save them from the onslaught.
yeah, with only certain ones, depending on
Yeah,
which route you do. But yeah, you're able
yeah,
to get a good chunk of them, and it's easier to do. And literally, I don't like new game pluses, but literally that game is built for new game pluses in terms of you trying to get more
yeah,
out of the story. So yeah, so it was even easier in your subsequent playthroughs where you're able to get more of your students, at least safe in your grasp or whatever though. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it in terms of the what we've been playing segment, and we might as well go ahead and roll over into our very last topic of the night, and that is none other than community questions. All right. So, in terms of our community questions, we did manage to get a few of them, or I'll put up a couple little polls, and then I also got one question in from one user though. But I'll go ahead and start off with the polls so far, and this is kind of a good wrap up and conclusion for the end of the year. And I'll also be able to hear from some of your thoughts on this, Stephen, as well, though. But I did
yeah.
throw a poll up here on Twitter. I said, so with the year coming to a close, what was your favorite first party Switch game of the year? Now, obviously, with Twitter, you can only put 4 options up on there. And I know there's a lot more games that came out than just 4 games. But the 4 I did put up on there was Metroid Dread, Skyward Sword, Mario Party Superstars, and 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. And most of the weight was shifted towards Metroid Dread as what I sort of kind of thought it would be towards. Because I think for most Nintendo
How
fans,
many?
especially if you're a
Oh,
core person, I feel like most people would kind of put their
how many
put
votes
their
did you
votes with
get?
Dread. It was just out of a small little selection because I did throw this thing up at the very last second though. So literally like 5 people. Obviously, it's not like a grand scale of everything though, but I feel like with most, and
Yeah,
I should have pulled up because I know Nintendo does like a poll of this with their end of the year stuff as well. They'll do a poll based on all like the Nintendo related kind of games that came out on the Switch as well. And I think even on that, I think most of it was catered towards their favorite game of the year being Metroid Dread as well, if I remember that right. I think it was catered towards that as well.
I,
So I'm not
I'll
too
tell
far
you
off the
right.
mark on that one.
I will tell you right now, I am one of those Metroid Dread people on your poll.
Okay, that's what I was
That
thinking.
game is awesome. I played through it like maybe 4 times in my 50 hours. Like, I did some speed runs of it, got like 2 hours, 3 hours, and I just have a lot of fun with the game. It's linear, but not like Fusion. Fusion was linear. This game is like something else.
Yeah, and I like how you went through and played it several times. And I think for me, I only played it just the once. I'll probably go back some point in the future. Don't know when it will happen, and probably replay through this game again though. But that
There's
one
so
playthrough
much
for
cool
me,
stuff.
it was phenomenal though. It was phenomenal. I mean,
They
for me, I just kind of bounce around from game to game though. But from what I played with that
so I'd
game,
go
holy
100% it.
shoot!
That game is probably the easiest 100%, but probably the one I have the most fun doing it with. I don't know why you didn't do it. It's like not hard.
It's not that it's not
Especially
hard. I guess it's just a matter of fact that
especially with
it's just
that,
I got so much
you know
stuff on
that
my backlog. That's the
yeah,
main
you
thing.
know that you know that new feature where parts on the map that you have like parts of the map that you haven't discovered stuff with have are blinking. That
Yeah,
feature's so useful. Like, oh, like if there's an item here, the place will blink. That feature is amazing. I don't know why they've never had that feature before.
yeah,
It's
But-
like it's like it reduces the problems I had with like basically every other game where it's like, okay, some of this stuff is just like I don't really want to 100% this game because I'm obviously gonna have to pull up a guide because some of it's
yeah,
just some of it it's like sets up early in the game, but most of it's like, okay, you shoot a bunch of walls. I'm gonna spend like an hour shooting walls to find it, and that's not really that fun. Samus Returns I also 100% because the scan is really nice. Oh yeah, it's another thing. I'd say this game fixed all the issues I had with Samus Returns. It made the movement so much more fluid, and it made those Aeon abilities like a meter that recharges on its own. If you
yeah. Because
remember in
I do remember with
Samus
Samus Returns.
Returns,
Samus Returns was the best control in Metroid game for me until Dread came out, and then and then obviously they pulled a lot of stuff from Samus Returns into that game.
I
But I
yeah
really did enjoy it, how fluid. Like obviously, this is the best Samus has ever controlled in any game. Period. Because
yes
the
yes
slide tackle to go into Morph Ball just kept me kind of rolling throughout the whole course of the game. So it's just little things like that that made it really good though. But I don't want to talk about that just too much because there were some other games that also came out this year that obviously I wasn't able to fit in the poll beyond Metroid Dread, Skyward Sword, Mario Party Superstars, and 3D World plus Bowser's Fury because we had like Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining. This is the first party wise. Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. We had new Pokemon Snap. We had WarioWare Get It Together. Shoot, we even had Mario Golf Super Rush that came out this year as well. Even Game Builder Garage, like that even came out earlier this year. I was like,
yeah.
oh
Well, guess
shoot.
what? That game really isn't anything impressive.
Yeah, I was just thinking like all the different stuff, Pokemon Unite. I was just kind of going
Uh,
through this list a
okay.
little bit more.
Out of all the games you just listed, New Pokemon Snap is underrated as hell, and I'm sad I don't see as many people talking about it. That game is just
Yeah.
like a really funny. That game's just a really nice experience. It's got so much charm and personality put into it. I
Hmm.
haven't beaten it yet, but that's just because so many things have come out this year. Like, just like in this year alone, every month there's been something I've been playing. And even, I thought there was going to be nothing for the end of the year, and then I got my hands on the PS5. Now I have like 10 games.
That's how it be. And I think we also had Metopia that released this year, and we
Yeah,
even also
Metopia was,
had
yeah. I thought I had no games in May, and then Atomic, like, guilt tripped me into getting Metopia.
and what was the
I
other
don't know,
one?
I don't even know if you remember, like, how he was just constantly talking about Metopia to get me to buy it.
Oh yeah, and then also we had Famicom The Missing Heir and whatever the branching story was as well. Um the one who the one who stands behind. I can't remember what the other title is, but both those Famicom Detective Club games released this year as well. And I bought the Missing Air one, and I went through and streamed the whole entire game on that one on my channel though. But yeah, even those couple of games came out this year though. So we
Still
had a
hard to
decent bit of stuff that came
still
out.
hard to believe that Monster Hunter Rise came out this year. This year felt like it was a very long year.
And speaking of
You
Monster
still
Hunter
have
Rise,
you still haven't even bought it. I
no,
can't
no,
believe it,
no,
sir.
no, no, no. I own it. But speaking of Monster Hunter Rise,
Oh,
I did a
yeah, have
secondary
you played
poll.
it?
Yeah, I did a secondary poll based upon the third party games that we got for the Switch. And the four I put up on the poll was Monster Hunter Rise, Monster Hunter Stories 2, Neo The World Ends With You, and Shin Megami Tensei 5. And in terms of that poll, at least with my audience, more people gravitated towards Shin Megami Tensei 5. I am kind of curious to see where most of the Nintendo fans voted within the like that Nintendo poll they like to do at the end of the year. I'm gonna see if I could try to pull that up though. But I wouldn't be surprised if more people kind of shifted and put most of their focus on it was either going to be Shin Megami Tensei 5 towards the end of the year near the holiday, or Monster Hunter Rise, which we got early in the year around March. And I think for me, out of all of that I put on the poll, my personal favorite would have my personal favorite would have been Neo: The World Ends With You. I think that's my favorite third party game I
That
played on the Switch
game,
because that
that
one,
game is kind of
oh,
wrong with the
okay.
so, but uh, but yeah, the whole thing, yeah, World Ends With You released in a very bad month for that game.
I know, and I was like, man, I was like, if you hadn't played that game, if you like RPGs, what the heck are you doing? You need to go and play that game right now.
Uh,
It wraps up the original story of the first one, but also tells its own good story within the sequel series so well. And if you've
and I
just been a
guess,
fan of the series, it's just phenomenal. I can't say much more about it.
yeah, this year we had a lot of cool stuff. We had one of Nintendo's best E3s, like just in general, with Breath of the Wild showing up, Splatoon showing up. Wait, oh yeah, Splatoon was in it, right? Splatoon 3, the story trailer was
No, no, no,
there,
no.
right?
That was there before
Right? It was
E3.
it?
I think it was the direct before E3. We knew about that. I
Oh
don't
no,
think
no,
we learned about it.
that's when Splatoon 3 was revealed. Was that direct before
Was
E3?
it? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Before E3. Yeah, but Metroid Dread was revealed during that direct, and I think that was the most hype thing that everybody basically popped off on. Because that was the big thing for the direct. That and the combination with Breath of the Wild. But yeah,
But yeah, the E3 we got this year in Smash we got three characters. We got four characters: Pyra, Mithra, Kazuya, and Sora or Kazuya. I don't know. But yeah,
yeah,
like obviously people went crazy with Sora. I think it was a pretty good selection. I think all of the characters are pretty fun to play. Well, like, I don't know. I think Fighters Pass 2 in its entirety was pretty unique and fun to play characters. Min
mm,
Min is unique, but I don't really play her much. Steve is very unique and I think is very fun to play. Sephiroth is fucking Sephiroth. I don't know what to say besides that. Uh, and then like, those last three are just like really fun. They don't really have any big stupid gimmick besides Kazuya having command inputs, I guess.
yeah. Basically that.
Yeah, Smash got its final farewell. I think it ended on a really good note. Uh, I I'm trying to think like what else happened this year. Sonic Sonic got the new game revealed. Sonic Frontiers. We got more info on that, but yeah, Sonic Frontiers, Sonic Origins. We're finally getting three and Knuckles re-released after over 10 years.
Yeah, which I don't think it was. No, yeah, it ain't gonna drop until next year. But yeah,
And
we
we
had
had
some
the
pretty good
so many
announcements for a
yeah
lot of
we
different
had
games.
we had some really funny gaming moments like Capcom's E3 showcase.
Oh, I don't like to remember about that. No.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so honestly, we had some good stuff this year though. That's just like a small little glimpse of wrapping it up because I did want to kind of mention some of the games that came out for the Switch or things we kind of played in general for the year of 2021. I don't know. I feel like I want to do this, but I have to sit down with like you, Steven, and try to grab a few of our other friends and whatnot, though, where we can maybe possibly work out something where we do like a 2021 year wrap up of like our top games or best gaming moments or whatever. Though I kind of want to do that because I think I did that last year, so I kind of want to do that
Oh,
again. But I just got to work out all the details on that.
yeah. I keep thinking of 2021. It was like a really good year for gaming. We had PlayStation Showcase with Spider-Man 2 revealed. We had so much stuff, man. Like I think 2022 is going to be a really good year for gaming just because a lot of stuff that was set up this year is finally actually going to get released.
Yeah, and I
There's
know
I don't know if
2022.
you've seen
Yeah.
it. There's new rumors about Odyssey 2.
Yeah, I heard
And if
about that. And in 2022
that
could shape
happens,
out to
well,
be very similar in terms of the scope and scale of how many games we're gonna get in comparison to 2017. Because literally like tick for tack, at least right now, like what we had a
yeah,
Mario Rabbids game back in 2017. We're gonna have one again this year. Breath of the Wild, we had one in 2017. We're gonna have one again this year. There's rumors that and we have Splatoon 3. We had a Splatoon 2 game in 2017. Gonna have it in 2022 this upcoming year. There's rumors that a Xenoblade 3 could possibly happen. And if that be the case, then that's the same thing with Xenoblade 2 when we had that in 2017 and that. Same thing with the whole Mario Odyssey thing. Like there's rumors that that might possibly happen next year. That would be another game that would be the same thing. I think legit at this point
I think
for
the
tick for
Xenoblade
tack,
3
I
rumors
think
are fake.
I feel like they're sort of kind of real because I guess apparently from what I've been hearing, it would have
Well,
happened
let's
this year had it not been for COVID or whatever though. But I won't say to anything much beyond that though. But I think in comparison to what 2017 and 2022 are looking like, they're almost gonna be tick for tack. The only difference that would be there, I think, if I remember right, the only
uh,
difference would be there is Mario Kart, and I don't think they're gonna pop a Mario Kart
no,
9 out
we're not.
next year.
We're not getting a new Mario Kart, especially since they just keep updating Mario Kart Live with weird additions.
So yeah, so I think that's
Uh,
basically
so
it in terms
so
of most of this
2020
stuff.
2022, we have Legends Arceus in January, Triangle Strategy in March. Mario plus Rabbids is probably gonna be a solid August, just like it was in 2017. Splatoon 3. I
Summer,
think like
summer,
I know
somewhere in June or July.
I know Splatoon releases in July usually. I think we're getting that game in May. I think we're gonna get it. I think we're gonna get it on the
Well,
7th
then that means
anniversary.
we will have to have
I
it
think
had
we're
to
getting
we
it.
have it really had to be a blowout showcase of it being shown at what would be a January or probably a February
Oh,
direct, and you
February.
had
It
to
would be
turn around
February.
in a March or an April and have like a solo Splatoon direct. Like it had to be
Yeah,
bang bang,
sounds.
and it had to be
That's
out
what
pretty
they've
quick
done that
before E3.
Zara, do you not remember when they in 2019 when they revealed Mario Maker 2 in February, had a direct for it in May, and then released it in June?
Yeah, but with Mario Maker, that kind of speaks for itself, though. But what Splatoon,
Like
that's Nintendo's third
I'd
party
say
shooter
I
game,
don't know.
and
I'd say
there's a lot of
Splatoon.
work that goes up into that game.
I'd say if you show more about Splatoon in February, do a global test fire for March, and then reveal more in April, and then release it in May, that's a pretty good idea.
Yeah,
Like you
yeah,
have a new big thing about it every month. So yeah, you got that Splatoon 3. Then, as long as it doesn't get delayed, Breath of the Wild 2 is going to be a great end to the year because that's definitely coming out at the end of the year if it's not delayed. Advance Wars 1 and 2 is the April game. So we have a
yeah.
game for January, we have a game for March. We'll probably have a direct in February. We have a game for April. We might have a game for May. We have
It's either
E3
May,
in
June,
June.
or July, and then you have
Yeah,
E3 in June. Oh goodness,
yeah.
yeah, E3 in
Yeah,
June,
and then
probably an
Splatoon
August
3.
game,
Yeah, Splatoon
probably a
3 is
November
gonna
game.
Yeah, Splatoon 3 is
Hmm.
gonna be at either right before E3 or right after E3. Mario plus Rabbids, I'm guessing, is the August game. Then in September we're gonna have another direct and probably get some smaller games, or even in that February direct we're gonna get a big 22 game or
And
2022 game
that's not even
released.
including games that been in the
Kirby.
rumor
I
mill.
forgot
Oh,
about Kirby.
Kirby
I
and Kirby
forgot about
happens.
Kirby.
in sometime in
Damn it!
spring, which that's the reason why I say, hey, that could release in May, and
There's
thus
so
that's
many
why I said
games.
Splatoon could come out in July. That's how
There's
I'm seeing
like
it
I'm
played
counting
out.
this. There is like six or like yeah, six first party Nintendo games coming out, or at least like big ones.
And that's the
So like
crazy thing is I think in 2017, I think we had roughly that same amount, and there still could be more. For all we know, they could make Mario Odyssey be a thing, and they could make Xenoblade 3 be a thing. And shoot, at that
Jesus,
point,
man.
I would be buying more
Jesus.
Switch games
Oh
in the year of
God.
2022 than what I did in the year of 2017. And 2017 was wild because I remember back
Dude,
then I had
dude,
Gamers Club where I was getting 20% off on every single one of those games, and
yeah,
I
but
was still spending quite a bit. But 2022 might be even worse. And that's not even a clue
Mario
if we were
Odyssey.
going to get like PlayStation games. And PlayStation is looking ridiculous at the very beginning of the year as well. And we hadn't even touched on that mess. I'm like, oh shoot.
And you don't even,
I think it's going
which
to be
I
Let's
think
Go
will happen.
Johto. I feel like it's going to be pretty
Yes.
much any other spin-off thing.
I think Let's
But
Go
I just
I
don't
think
know.
Let's Go Johto, I don't know. I think Let's Go Johto would be safe enough to where it wouldn't really compete with Legends Arceus, you know what I mean? Like
If they
like
want to do a
Legends
spin-off
Arceus,
but have it be almost kind of
yeah.
close to main series, then I would see that. But I don't think we're going to get a Generation 9 this year. Normally we would, but because Legend Arceus comes out in January, I'm thinking it's going to be one of them off years where it's going to be similar to Gen 5, how I think between the gap between Gen 4 to 5 was 4 years instead of 3 years. So I'm thinking they're going to do something similar like that again. But yeah, so there's a lot of good stuff coming, and I did want to go ahead and address the one comment
Oh
or
yeah.
from the one person I did get it from, my good boy Bronto. He mentioned what was on that Christmas list. I don't know exactly if he was meaning like Christmas list in terms of like just standard, like anything I personally wanted for Christmas, or if it's anything kind of gaming related though. But just in a general sense, one thing I kind of was wanting to get, maybe my brother might get it for me. Who knows? With me having several different controllers, like from like Switch controllers, and we'll eventually have two PS5 controllers once that light blue one comes in. I kind of wanted to have like a charging dock, so that way I can kind of rotate out in between. Like, there's like one third party one where it's like you stick a bit up in the controller itself, and it's like magnetized. So then when you put it, like, it's like a USB-C bit that you plug into the charging port, and you can plug it into like a PS5 controller or Switch controller because they all use USB Cs, and then stick it into the actual dock itself, and then it'll let you know how much has been charging by or whatever it does. So I'm like, oh okay, because I was like, at the current moment you have to like plug in a bunch of different wires and either have it plugged into the dock or right in front of the PS5. But if I just had a central docking station for it where I just drop the controller off, pick it right back out, I feel like it'll be a little bit more convenient with how many controllers I got going on at the moment, because I think I have 4 Switch Pro controllers and what will be soon at some point in January 2 PS5 controllers that I kind of all rotate between at any given moment though. So I guess that's one thing I guess I can say off my wish list though. But Steven, what's on that Christmas wish list for you?
I literally can't think of a thing I want for Christmas. I got the PS5, which for if we're talking about like, technically, I'd say the PS5 is my Christmas present that I got for myself. But
I
like,
would say so.
I don't know. Like, if I had to think of like a game that I want, but like I'm too broke to get, I don't know. I can't really think of anything. I'd probably get like a bad game like Balan Wonderworld as a joke.
Oh no, don't do that.
Yeah, I probably won't, but like it'd be funny. I don't know. Like I am the enjoyer of bad games. You've seen me with I think talk about Mega Man X7 all the time like God. The
Bro.
the the best game that was ever made. Mega Man X7. FNAF Security Breach is like the Bible or some stupid shit. Like I don't know. I don't really have preference with like what games I get. If it's a Nintendo first party game, I usually always get it on launch day. So like I can't really think of a Christmas present because I've already gotten most games I want. I'm just
Hmm.
rambling here. I don't know. If I had to think of anything that like if I got it, I'd be happy, would be like PSVR. Just to try out some VR stuff or like an Oculus Quest like Atomic got. because Atomic got the Oculus Quest 2, and he said he's liking it so far.
Huh. Okay. Yeah.
There's
So
a
that's that's pretty good.
there's a lot of stuff that like I would like to get, but I've already been spending a lot of money recently. That PS5 by itself was, after getting all the games, about 1,000.
Yeah. You spend a pretty penny on it trying to do all that though. But I
I'm just
guess that's
pretty glad that I got it though, because my God, I'm not gonna have another chance for a while.
yeah, ain't that the truth? But I think that's pretty much does it in terms of all the topics that I had for tonight. Honestly, you know how the show goes. If I'm here by myself, it's about an hour long. And then obviously if I get somebody else in here, then it can get longer than that. So you got
Oh
you,
hell
you
yeah!
got you got a treat. So now you finally got another episode that happened to be over 2 hours long. So yeah,
How long was this one?
currently at the moment where I'm sitting at right now, about 2 hours and 14 minutes. That'll be on the YouTube version side. It might be a little shorter at the current moment when I said that. Whenever I edit this and throw it up on my podcast servers, though. But yeah, so it's gonna be a little over 2 hours though. So honestly, a pretty good run time for the last ZardCast episode of the year, that being for 2021 though. But y'all gotta let me know in
Yeah.
the comment section down below what all you think about all these different topics, everything from Switch Online up their upgrades and stuff to the Project Spartacus stuff that's with PlayStation 5 with those new branded or not branded but new colors in terms of the controllers, as well as those the plates for it though. And then also some of those pop culture segments that we talked about with the whole Halo series coming to Paramount Plus, the new Dragon Ball Super Hero. Golly, that name. Golly, I feel like they could chose something better on that. And then everything else in between though. Y'all just gotta let me know down in the comment section down below though. But Steven, tell my fine viewers where they can find you at.
You can find me on Twitter being disappointed about FNAF, or you could also find me on Twitter retweeting giveaways or something else. I don't know. I don't use Twitter a lot, or at least I don't like to think of myself as a Twitter user. But that's
Bruh,
all I usually use. I don't know. Like it's where I get most of my news. It's
I
where I
got
see
you.
the Megazord polls. TM.
Yeah. All right, well that's pretty good. And I will say this one more time in case you just need a fresh reminder from when I mentioned this at the very beginning of my podcast. For what I've been doing for the month of December leading up to Christmas, I've been doing that hashtag 25 days of uploads ish. Don't know if you've been seeing those, Steven, whenever I've been posting that stuff up on Twitter
I
though. But
haven't been.
I've been posting more or been uploading or been doing more streams than what I normally would in a whole month. Like what I've been doing in this month has been probably at this point right now been more uploads and videos than what I normally, probably like double the amount than like what I did like in like a random month. Like if you go back and look in October though. But for this final stretch between Monday and Saturday being Christmas Day, you can expect anywhere from 2 videos or maybe a couple of days where there's only 1 video, where I'm going to be going through and doing some Christmas specials where I'm going to re-upload different videos from the years of 2019 when I started YouTube and 2020. And I'm just gonna re-upload those, and you're gonna see them drop out on my channel though, and you can be able to relive some of those earlier moments in my channel. Nothing from the year of 2021 that we're in, because since that's pretty recent though. But basically anything is 2020, 2019, and 2020 though. So you have those to look forward to. I was working on a little bit of that stuff right before this podcast episode. Lost track of time and I had to start it a little bit late though. But yeah, so you have that to look forward to the lead up of Christmas Day though. So yeah, so that's basically gonna wrap up things for the 25 days to upload ish that I've been doing though. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this episode though. So if you really like this video, make sure to go ahead and hit that like button, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and that bell to stay up to date on all video game related stuff that I feel like talking about and discussing, as well as Marvel. Especially look forward to that Spider-Man review when I finally ever kind of get to it, once I actually go through and watch the movie and everything else in between though. And if you happen to be watching this podcast, whether it be through Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and the fairly recent new the Amazon Music podcast on there, just make sure to go ahead and like or go ahead and share that podcast around. Just share it around with your friends or whatnot though. Just let them know where I'm at. Just let them know where I'm at. So remember y'all, until whatever video I make next, see y'all.